Ladies, gentlemen, and those beyond the binary, welcome tonight to Ball State Esports, where we will have your Ball State Cardinals going up against NKU in good old-fashioned League of Legends. I'm Rory, aka R-Tom, joining me today.
I'm Aiden Inman, aka Inmonic.
And boy, oh boy, it's been quite the week for Ball State Esports, you know? We've had some ups, some downs.
It's been a... I don't know if rough's the right word, but it's been a little annoying might be the word.
So Ball State, we've had, it's just kind of one of those funny things, right? We've had a forfeit here and, one or two delays at this point. So here is your delayed broadcast against NKU, but finally, everyone's schedules have been worked out. We are getting things back on track, and Ball State is still looking to take over the ESC, still remaining undefeated. The last game they did get to play was against Central Michigan, and Ball State absolutely came out on top.
And I feel like undefeated is an understatement. It's more like uncontested.
That's definitely the way to put it. All these games are being closed out just so quickly, and I mean,
I don't think
what
there's
else is there to say?
I don't think there's been a point in any of the games where any of the teams were even remotely winning. Like, Ball State hasn't even been behind in a game yet.
Yeah, Ball State has been on a tear, on a rampage, and hopefully we get to see it again tonight. But who knows? NKU, bit of a better team this time around. They are sitting at, I believe it was 4-2 in the ESC, so this will be one of Ball State's more competitive matches. This isn't a team that's going to kind of historically been on the weaker side. NKU is sitting pretty strong in the ESC right now. Obviously not undefeated, but 4-2 is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, and because of that, I believe Ball State is opting to not have any subs today. I think we've had at least one sub in just about every game we've played, except for maybe our first. And we can show you that lineup now.
Yeah, as we get into the starting lineup here, we will have Silk Flannel in the top lane, going by Silknell, Boatlick in the jungle, Wombat Baby in that mid lane, Trumpslog in the bot lane, and T1 Quokka in that support role, also known as Quokka. This is your pretty standard Ball State starting five lineup. I mean, they've all had their moment in the spotlight in one game or another. Really not much else to say.
Yeah, and honestly, it's hard to point to one of these players to tell you to look for, or to tell you to watch out for, because all of them have had their pop-off games. Even Quokka has played Wukong support and dominated the game.
Quokka's been talking to me about playing Camille support.
I want to see it.
And I really do want to see it as well. If you look at, I almost said C Michigan, excuse me, NKU's starting lineup here. We will have Cleve in the top lane, Yuki in the jungle, Ice Alarm in the mid lane, I'm Big W in the bot lane, and Steph Top in that supporting role. Once again, we weren't given a ton of information as to the roster of NKU, but they are sitting 4-2, so clearly something is working in this roster.
They're definitely near the top of the bracket for the tournament that we're currently in. And I think we actually have a graphic for that too, to show you exactly what the standings are for all of these teams.
Yeah, Ball State should be at that top spot, and then we can see where NKU is sitting. So this is the season standings so far. Northeastern and Kent have won their games already because Ball State did have that aforementioned forfeit, so they are actually ahead 7-0, but Ball State still sitting there 6-0. And if you can see Northern Kentucky, there it is, that 4-2. So not the tippy top of the leaderboard, but it's no Central Michigan, right?
That's again, we're only yeah, it's not Central Michigan. I don't know what I was about to say there. I'm just say a word. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. This is supposed to be the most competitive team we played against yet, which, as I said, is why we have our main roster. And I want to see our team struggle today. I love seeing them stomp. It's great. It's sometimes it's a little boring though. I want to see him sweat. I want to see him struggle to win a game.
Yeah, it's always. I feel like a lot of the games that we've been casting have just been, oh look, Silk Flannel's winning top lane at 2 minutes, and Wombat Baby's winning mid lane at 2 minutes, and bot lane's winning at 2 minutes, and now Boatlick can just kind of wander wherever he wants because all the lanes have prio, and that jungle is free for the taking. So it would be nice to see Ball State maybe have to work for that win just a little bit.
Yeah, and that's a common trend that we've seen every game. Ball State has full map control in 2 minutes, literally every single game. So if I was Northern Kentucky right here, I would be thinking, what can I do to not lose full map control in 2 minutes?
And Northern Kentucky's really got a shot for this one because, again, all these teams that Ball State has faced so far, they've been near the bottom of the standings, and we've always been saying up here at the desk, you just got to get out ahead of Ball State early on. You just need to make sure that you're either matching that aggression or surpassing it. But it feels like these teams haven't had the ability to pull it off. And just looking at NKU stats-wise, I really feel like this is a team that is going to kind of have the ability to pull that off. This is going to be a bit of a testing gate here for Ball State, and the question is, can they smash through it?
Yeah, and we've seen most teams have decided to opt for like a late game scaling comp. They want to outscale Ball State and then win in the late game. But Ball State just doesn't let them do that. We did see Central Michigan last week opt for an early game comp in one of their drafts, lost full map control in 2 minutes, and then lost the game. So I'm interested to see what Northern Kentucky decides to do tonight. Are they going to also opt in for a late game team comp, try to outscale and just chill out in the early game? Or are they going to try to match Ball State, match the early aggression, and not let themselves just lose in the first couple minutes?
It'll be interesting to see, but we've been throwing around terms like champions, lanes, jungles, objectives a lot. So for those at home who might not know, or for those at home who aren't super familiar with the Season 14 changes, League of Legends is a game in which 5 players on each team are going to be essentially competing to destroy each other's base. They will be farming minion waves, and these minion waves give them gold and experience. They will use this gold and experience to go back to base to get some items to improve their stats. These items will have active effects, and then they use these improved stats to go and take objectives around the map. These objectives can be towers in lane, which you need to break down in order for your minions to push through to the enemy base. These objectives can be monsters such as dragons, void grubs, and barons. And basically the goal is to destroy towers and get to the enemy's base. And there's a lot of tools and a lot of champions in which you can utilize to sort of make that process work. And if you look here, this will be one of the objectives showing up on your screen. These are the void grubs. You take these, you get a bit of a buff to your damage against towers if your team can secure those terrifying termite monstrosities.
Yeah, so also, those are one addition of the new League of Legends season. This whole video you're seeing right now is courtesy of Riot Games, and it's just them showing off some of the new mechanics of this brand new League of Legends season. Lots has changed, including the brand new addition of these void grubs that spawn early in the game. There's also been complete item reworks. There's no longer mythic items. Not sure if any of you in the audience know what that means, but previously we had items that were stronger than all the other ones, and you could only buy one a game. Now those are removed, and every item's pretty much on an even scale, and you can kind of build in any way you want.
Yeah, it's become a lot more flexible. Here on the screen, you'll be seeing the Rift Herald, and teams can use this to take towers more efficiently. So anytime you see someone fighting an objective, it's usually to either get an active effect, like this Herald right here charging the tower, or a more passive effect. For example, the Baron buff or the Dragons will give stats and additional bonuses to your champion. There's a lot of systems that play in the game. We'll do our best to describe them as they come up, but it is complex, it is very fun, and Ball State has proven themselves to be very, very good at not only kind of exploiting these objectives almost the second they come up, but using them to close out games just absurdly fast.
Oh, yeah. And one thing you'll hear us talking a lot about is different roles within the game. So every team has 5 members, and those consist of a top laner who plays in the top lane of the map, a mid laner who plays in the mid lane, and then there's 2 bot laners. There's an ADC, which stands for Attack Damage Carry. They're typically going to be a ranged character like the one you're seeing on your screen with that bow right there, who puts out lots of damage really consistently, and they get stronger as the game goes on. So they're going to be the ADC in the bot lane, and then that ADC has a support, and that support is there to help them, whether that be through damage or stunning the enemy or giving them shields. Different characters can help in different ways. And then there's a 5th, kind of a very different role from the others, the jungler. Now, the jungler does not stay in any specific lane. They travel throughout the lanes, and they're almost like a support, but a lot of times they do have their damage themselves and they can carry the game themselves. And they try to travel between the lanes and help out their team. And yeah, that's a very quick summary of the roles. I mean,
all right, there'll be a quiz on this later.
Yep.
I hope you're all taking notes. But yes, it is complicated. Of course, we will do our best to explain it for those who may not necessarily be super familiar with the game. But you mentioned these roles a bit earlier and how, especially how jungle, can function a bit as a support or as a damage. What are you expecting to see from Ball State in terms of draft? Because when the advantage has been firmly in Ball State's favor, they've known to get a bit, for lack of a better word, a bit silly with their drafts. They'll pick some very high damage characters that are very feast or famine. You need to get ahead early or you're just going to be not contributing anything throughout the entire game. But this is some untested waters here. Do you think Ball State keeps going with these super aggressive drafts, or maybe do they just go with a more well-rounded team composition? Do they go for the tanks and the CC and balance that across the different roles here?
Seeing the lineup we have tonight, I think we're just going to see same old Ball State. I think we're going to see like 5 carry characters. We might even see a carry playing the support. We might see that Pyke or a Wukong or a Camille who can do like lots and lots of damage despite being the support. And I think we're going to see a hyper-aggressive jungler. Our jungler is always wanting to be in the enemy's jungle.
Yes.
And invading them. Mid lane, he's gonna be trying to solo kill 10 times. I don't know if you saw last week's game. Wombat Baby got like 15 solo kills in the mid lane. He was stomping, and he tries to do that every game. I don't think he's gonna let up on that. And then of course we got Silk Flannel on the top lane. He just plays a bunch of carries.
Yeah, Silk Flannel's Fiora is a very infamous pick, right? As teams kind of just are forced to ban out that Fiora in the draft if they don't want to have a very bad time up in that top lane. And I'm glad you mentioned Wombat Baby, because I know we were discussing him a bit earlier. You said he was close to, what, 5 wins off Challenger last you talked to him?
Yeah, last I talked to him, he was 5 games off Challenger. And then his computer crashed, and he went to 7. And he went to 7 games off Challenger. But
happens to the best of us. So yeah, that's just individually. All these players are super great on the ladder. They're all sitting in that top 0.5%, 0.3% of players.
It might be under that, like 0.05%.
So it's always just a tall order for any team to go against Ball State here. But NKU does have a chance here. Again, the most competitive match we've seen so far. Ball State's bringing out the whole starting lineup this time. They're bringing out all the big guns. They are ready to take this seriously, and when Ball State takes something seriously, they've shown that they are just as capable of closing out these games as quickly as they would if they just pick something, I don't know, like 5 carries.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've talked a lot about how good they are. What are our predictions for that?
I'm gonna say 2-0 still. I think we are gonna have at least one pretty close game. But just from the way that Ball State has been performing, just from what I've seen these players do individually, just from talking to some of these players, it's very clear that they are just very good at League of Legends, both as a team and as individuals. And I think it's just going to take so much for any team in the ESC to overcome that. I think there are teams that can do it. I don't think NKU is one of them. I think it will be close, though.
I mean, I'll be even more optimistic. I don't think there's any teams that can do it. I mean,
okay.
there's undefeated teams, but from what I've seen, Ball State is just performing so much higher than every team they're playing against. I don't imagine these teams are really that much better than the ones that we've been beating already.
All right.
So I'm going to say 2-0, obviously.
All right, easy 2. We both got 2-0. Aiden more so easy 2-0. I'm saying maybe there's some rockiness to it.
I want there to be some rockiness. I'm just not convinced there will be.
All right. Well, we'll have to see how that pans out. In the meantime, before we hop into draft, I believe we do have an interview to cut to, so we'll be doing that. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
Well, gets back through using the lifesteal, gets a 3rd, gets the 4th.
This season, I think our team's pretty good and well prepared as well.
I think our team's really good. I think we've improved a lot. We're like, 2 weeks in? We've already improved a good amount, so my expectations are high.
Yeah, I think we're gonna play pretty good, but we need more practice, like a team.
We pick up the pollen, and we're gonna get back and win.
So how'd you get the idea for your game with that?
So we had an account called Chow Dog, like, I don't even know, it was a Smurf account in like season 6 maybe, and I don't know, some vlog was similar, and I thought it was funny at the time.
So orca is like an animal, but live in the Australia, and T1 is my favorite team.
So I'm half Australian, and my brothers, their league names were Koala Rampage and Oversized Joey, so their favorite Australian animals. So I picked mine, the wombat, and since I was the youngest in the family, that's how wombat baby was born.
Boat lick is like a lot of money, and I do want a lot of money.
My name was X Sniping Panda X7.
Okay.
It got reported, then I became Slick Fawn. Friends started calling me Silk Flannel.
If you had to pick one character to fight in a 1v1, and you gotta win it, who you pick?
I'm picking Poppy. I hate that character. She's like,
And you definitely win?
actually wait, no, I might not win because they can just like disappear and like reappear wherever they want.
Yumi, easily. Just a little cat, you know, like what is she gonna do to me? I can just like punt her or something, you know, it can't be that hard.
Yumi, I guess? He's a cat? I don't know. I'd
Give her a
literally
little
just punt her, literally.
Maybe Sad.
All right, what's that?
He looks like pretty macho, like a real man. So I think I wanna beat him.
I think I could take on anyone.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Good mindset to have.
Yeah.
Do you have any pre-match rituals or anything you do before a game?
Probably I listen some music to calm down my mind. And
Don't do any like huge stretches or music or anything like that.
Not really. I do like talking to my teammates a bit, just to get comfortable.
Okay, so something I've been doing before our scrims recently is I've been barking, just like, I don't know, to get everyone hyped, because we're a little quiet.
Always get Starbucks for a game. Always get the ice blonde vanilla latte,
Okay.
breve, with vanilla sweet cream cold foam.
I know
First
Silk
question
Flannel's
today
drink order
is,
now.
we're
I
gonna toss
feel,
next.
I feel like I've grown to know him more as a person.
Yeah, I love seeing the confidence, especially Quaka over there saying he could fight Set. Now, now for those that don't know, Set is the resident like pit fighter in League of Legends. He owns his own pit fighting ring that he won from beating all the other pit fighters, and Quaka thinks he can beat him.
I mean, I feel like it'd be kind of fun, you know?
Yeah, and I'm just like, he's going into these games with that mindset. You know, he knows he can win. he can beat Set. He can beat anyone.
Yeah, if I had the confidence to take on Set, I think there'd be nothing that I couldn't do in this world. If I could confidently look at that man and say, yeah, I could take that guy in a fight.
I do agree with fighting Yumi though. I think there'd be more of like a contest to see how far you could kick her.
Yeah, no, my answers to that question would be Yumi or Milio, easily. Like, one's a cat and the other's a hyperactive child. I clear both those easily. I said that on the broadcast.
Well, before we get in trouble for child and animal abuse, we are currently just waiting to get into the lobby and trying to fill some time once again.
Once again, we are here. We are filling time. All right, so we talked about who we might see. Who do you want to see? Like in your dream Ball State Exodia team comp, who do you want to see?
Okay, so Nidalee got buffs in this most recent patch, but because of that, every team has been perma-banning Nidalee away from us. I just want to see Nidalee, because I guarantee if our jungler gets Nidalee, he's going to drop like 30 kills in the game.
Boatlake's Nidalee is low-key terrifying, I agree.
Yeah, and now it's stronger. So
maybe less low-key now.
what else is there? I mean, obviously I want to see the Camille support if possible, although that can be kind of like a troll pick, and so against one of these supposed to be more competitive teams, probably won't see it today, I'd imagine.
I think it is going to be, it's sort of like Ezreal support, right? It's one of those situational, or misfortune support, actually. That's probably a better example. It's one of those situational counter picks where it's you're not picking that first. So it's unlikely, I think, that Quokka will get a good opportunity to flex the Camille support. As for myself, I kind of want to see Yasuo Yone again.
We pulled out the Yasuo, or did we pull the Yone? We pulled one of them out again in our last game.
Okay.
And it did good.
Just seeing one of them again would be nice, honestly. I think it's always very funny when, in a competitive environment, those champions get drafted.
Yeah.
They're usually kind of like the pinnacle of solo queue champions. But
I would also just, as a Viego lover, I'd love to see our jungler pull out Viego. We've seen one of the other teams pull out Viego. I don't want to talk too much trash, but didn't really know how to play Viego.
Yeah, not the greatest piloting of that champion. Something that I run in a lot of my norms games because I think it's very funny, and that is never going to get run in the tournament, but I'll pray for it till the day I die. I think you know what's coming. Somebody please run the Dark Harvest Milio. I swear it's good. Just pair it with Lucian. You get another keystone in lane, guys. It's free wins. I'm telling you.
Rory literally has an account called Dark Harvest Milio. Very much, just for you, I want to see that too. Give us the Dark Harvest Milio.
All right, I know Ball State can hear me. You give me the Dark Harvest Milio. That's probably not going to happen, unfortunately. It's very much just like it's just a for fun memes pick. The reason it works is because Milio's passive is coded as damage, and Dark Harvest procs off of additional damage. So if an ADC lands an attack after being buffed by Milio, they can cause Dark Harvest to activate. It's very funny, especially if you go with if you're paired up with someone who also uses the Dark Harvest rune, because then you'll just get like 2 Dark Harvest stacks for the price of 1.
I guess we can kind of explain like what Dark Harvest is, or just what runes are in general.
Yeah, we got some time to kill. We can expand upon League more for those at home. So talking about Dark Harvest, items are obviously very, very important when deciding what best to augment about your champion's kit and spells. But something that also helps augmenting these kits be more effective are what are called runes. And runes are split up into vague categories of this makes you more tanky, you deal more damage if you pick this helps you with managing cooldowns or mana or something. There's a lot of different runes, and you can pick a major keystone, and Dark Harvest is one of those keystones, and when someone's taking a low enough health, you'll deal additional damage and harvest the soul. But we're going to cut that explanation short because we're getting into draft, baby. Who is going to get banned first? It looks like we got Ball State on the red side, and we have, I almost said C Michigan again. Northern Kentucky. I don't know why C Michigan is just living in my brain. And the
draft is gone.
Yeah, I was just informed that there is a slight issue in the client with draft. It's Riot Games, everybody. Riot Games and working software are the biggest oxymoron you'll hear in your life.
Well, so we're about to get into draft. We can explain that real fast. Basically, both teams get to ban 3 champions at the start. And they'll either target the other teams like champions they're known for playing, or they'll just target what's really good at the time. And then after those 3, I believe both teams pick 2 champions?
Yes.
Yeah, so then both teams, after all 6 champions are banned, 3 from each team, 2 champions are picked from each team. And then there's 2 more bans from each sides of both teams, or 4 more bans. And then they pick the remaining 3 champions on each team. So it's ban, pick, basically. And the goal of that really is you can get a huge advantage in your lane if you counter pick the opponent. If you pick something that is just good into the champion they have. So if you have first pick, you do get priority. You can pick the best champion in the game, but then the second pick gets to counter pick that. And it may be the best champion in the game, but there's probably something that counters it. So they'll pick a counter. And it's almost like a game of chess. They're being very strategical in who they pick, who they ban, and what order they pick it in.
Yeah, I would expect to see Fiora banned from the side of Northern Kentucky, just because Silk Flannel is very known for that character. I would also not be surprised to see an Ahri ban from the side of Northern Kentucky, because our mid laner, Wombat Baby, also very well known for that character. Other bans I'm expecting, Maokai, I would not be shocked by. Karma, I believe, is still quite strong this patch. And so we're going to be banning out one of Quokka's signature picks, actually. NKU just getting the Pike off the table completely. Cassante, very strong champion this patch, getting banned in response by Ball State. Senna, another very strong champion, getting banned in response here by the side of NKU. So again, just this picks that players are known for, and then these very high priority picks are being banned out as well.
Yeah, so far they're targeting Quokka with all of their bans. That Maokai ban's pretty standard, broken champion right now.
Yeah.
And there's the Fiora ban. Not going to see that this game.
No, this team, I think, does not want to let Silk Flannel have access to that Fiora. He's absolutely terrifying on that character. Here, I would honestly expect to see bans being targeted at, I would assume, mid or jungle. I think Ari or Karma. Yep, Karma is a solid ban as well there.
There's the Varus. Now we might lock the Ashe so they don't get a double bot lane.
I would not like a Varus Ashe bot lane. Might just want to...
I'd steal the Ashe if that's what they
I would
avoid.
steal the Ashe. I was gonna maybe think of, maybe you get some engage in there, but I think I'm with you on this. I think Ashe is the pick to make.
I also think, there's the Ashe. Now, personally, I think I'd lock a champ for Wombat Baby, simply because I think he's going to be target banned for these next 2 bans.
Smolder is being hovered.
Oh, that's the brand new champion to the game. I have not seen it played in competitive yet. Let's see if they decide to lock it.
I would be. The general consensus is that Smolder can feel kind of underwhelming. But I think his early game has the potential to be.
Wow.
Okay,
Smolder Ashe bot lane.
All right. Well, this is very interesting. So Smolder is known for having a pretty solid early game if you're building him correctly, which, given these players' ranks, I imagine they will. Having a mid game and then an incredibly strong late game. He can one-tap people with his passive because it executes people under a certain amount of health. I saw Seraphine hovered and was intrigued. I am not sure I
like the Seraphine.
I don't know if I like this Nautilus. I'm going to be real.
I thought we were going to have a very pokey, brawly bot lane with that Seraphine Varus versus Ashe Smolder, but now they're just going to be fishing for hooks, I guess.
Yeah, I think the idea here is to sort of take advantage of the fact that Smolder can kind of struggle a bit as the game starts getting into that mid game, but you have a lot of disengage with this Ashe and with Smolder's flap as well. Oh my goodness. His abilities are so childishly named. Now I'm going to have to call them out.
Oh, that's the name of the ability.
His ability is called Flap
what
Flap.
are you saying?
No, yeah, his escape ability is literally just called Flap Flap. His ultimate is just Mom.
Oh, yeah, because he just calls in his mom.
Yeah, he just calls in his mom to rain a fire of death. We have the Zac being drafted. I think that's a unique pick, but I'm not wholly opposed to it. I want to see some damage coming out from NKU in the next few picks. Poppy is a really solid Zac counter pick. I really like this. She can negate so many dashes.
I will remind everyone, we played against Zac last week, and he did nothing. So let's see if this one does better.
I think it's an interesting choice. Again, it is going to struggle into this Poppy because Zac has a really big leap and Poppy has a tool that is specifically meant to block those leaps. So it's kind of an easy draft choice there for Ball State.
And now that Poppy could be a flex pick. That could be jungle or top.
At this point, yes. Speaking of picks, rather, I haven't been calling out these bans at all. We have Twisted Fate and Hui being banned. I love this Hui ban. I think Hui is very strong this patch and a little bit sleeper. The ability haste changes have benefited him a ton. Olaf being banned. I wonder if that's a comfort pick. I don't think Olaf is particularly that strong this patch.
I feel like both of those might be comfort picks. Like, Hui is good right now, but I don't know if you typically ban that without knowing the other team plays it.
That's true, now that I think about it. TF, obviously a...
Poppy jungle.
All right, that's Poppy jungle with the Aatrox pick. Jack's going to be banned out, but it doesn't matter. The top lane champion has already been selected for Silk Flannel. He is a monster on that Aatrox. It's a pretty solid pick, too. So now we are just waiting for the mid and top lanes to be drafted here from the side of NKU. The Orianna Hover is... All right, that's an evergreen champion. I don't hate it.
I think that's something that Wombat Baby is going to abuse, though. Let's see what he picks.
Yeah, Wombat Baby does have last pick in this mid lane matchup.
They're stealing our Camille. No, we're not going to pick Camille. We've already got those positions sorted. The Garen, I'd love to see it.
I would like to see the Garen locked in. Does he win the Aatrox matchup?
You know, I never know with Garen. His builds vary so much. Every patch he seems to be a different strength. I don't really know.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head either. It is going to be drafted and picked either way. And, oh, that's an
There's the
instant
Ari.
Ari lock from Wombat,
Oh.
baby. Maybe a Nico. I preferred Ari, to be honest.
There you
Yeah,
go,
okay.
Classic. And I imagine this is a matchup that Wombat Baby is very used to. The Oriana's played constantly at higher ranks that Wombat Baby plays in, and I feel like Ari does pretty good into that.
I think Ari is, both these mid laners are kind of those evergreen champions. They're never really going to truly be bad. In fact, I would describe a lot of NKU's draft in particular as just very evergreen. These champions aren't ever going to be bad picks.
Yeah.
They might be suboptimal picks, but they're not going to ever to be bad. That being said, I really like the response that Ball State has here. In particular, this Zac is going to have a super hard time jumping on literally anybody. You've got the Poppy to block. You've got the Ari charm. You've got Smolder's flap flap. I'm going to make the gesture every time I say it because it's very fun. And then you've got Ash's just disengage, just built into her literally everything.
Yeah, and Poppy has an ability that stops all dashes around her. So if this Zac jumps on her, he just gets knocked away. Like, he can't. So if Poppy's around, Zac can't really play, which is why she's in the jungle role and he's in the jungle role. She's going to be playing to just stop any of his ganks.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard for Zac to gank even this mid lane, I think, right? You have that Ari charm available. Ari's got a million different dashes. Aatrox has a decent amount of self-peel as well if he gets jumped on. I thought the Zac, I still don't think it's a bad pick, but I think it's really going to struggle into this Ball State draft, and you're really going to want, as NKU, to look for your lanes to win here. I think bot lane and top lane in particular, the pressure is really going to be on to make some magic happen.
I will say, I think this is probably the most even draft that I've seen throughout any game that we've watched Ball State play. Assuming these are two even teams, I don't really know which draft I actually prefer here. Like, Poppy does hard counter Zac. Top lane, I don't actually know who wins that.
Yeah, that's that. I think that's the big X factor for me. I don't know on paper who wins the matchup. I'm assuming it's Aatrox, but we see that Cleave here is grabbing Ignite as a summoner spell, meaning that Cleave is going to be playing to win this lane aggressively. Ignite, once that summoner spell is casted, will deal some true damage over time and apply grievous wounds. It's a very aggressive laning spell. Silk Flannel is opting for teleport, meaning he can still fight Cleave in lane, but will not have access to as much damage as Cleave at certain points within the game.
And then neither of these comps are like particularly good or bad at early and late game. Like, they both scale really well late game. They both have pretty solid early games. They both even have decent mid games. Like, there's nothing like I can't point to say like, oh, Ball State's looking to take over the early game and stomp early and they're going to lose late, because that's not going to happen with these comps.
I think something to watch out for especially is going to be to watch how this Smolder plays, because currently there's like there's a bit of a divide in the community right now of, is Smolder super broken or not? Which is a debate that happens around every new character release. But in Smolder, I feel like this debate actually has some merit, because when the character first came out, everyone was bemoaning his very abysmally bad early game. His damage was his cooldowns were super long, and he just took forever to come online. And then Korea, 3 days later, cooked up a crazy build that actually builds some ability power, some magic damage, instead of the traditional attack damage early on for Smolder's levels. They'll start with a Doran's Ring and maybe even grab a Dark Seal. And using that magic damage actually turns Smolder into a bit of a lane bully.
Yeah, and that's something actually I haven't really talked about on here much. There are two kinds of, or I guess there's three, but there's two main kinds of damage in League of Legends. There's magic damage and there's physical damage, or also sometimes called attack damage. And it's really, depending on what item you buy, you'll either buff your magic damage or buff your physical damage. In certain characters, their abilities interact.
Scale.
They'll scale differently with one or the other stat. Some abilities can use both. You can build both magic and physical damage, and your ability will output both of those. Some only do physical damage, some only do magic damage. And that matters because if you're on the other team and you want to build defensive items, you can either build magic resistance or armor, which is physical damage resistance. So you kind of have to choose. Do I want to make this character over here do less damage to me, or this character?
Yeah.
And it becomes a big, like, what items do I build?
Exactly. Yep. Itemization is going to be really key. It's always key in League of Legends, to be fair, but in this game in particular, because that Smolder has the opportunity to build mixed damage. For reference, whenever we say AD, we will be referring to attack damage, that is physical damage. When we say AP, we're referring to magic damage or ability power, is what it's called in game. So AD, swords, AP, I don't know, like lightning or something.
That's typically the best way to look at it. If you see someone swinging a sword or like firing a bow, they're probably doing AD. Now there are exceptions. Smolder is kind of one of those exceptions. Smolder can do both damage, and then there is a special third kind of damage I haven't mentioned, which is called true damage, and it just cuts. It ignores armor, ignores magic resist, and just does that amount of damage. So, and Smolder is known for, once he gets to the late game, he starts doing lots of true damage. That's why his late game can be very strong depending on how he's played.
And we were talking about this. If you look at the inventory, that is a Doran's Ring, meaning they are going for the early AP Smolder build. So I am super excited to see how this plays out, actually. I've wanted to see this build in action for a while, and I've watched a couple of VODs on it, but haven't really seen anyone just play it. And looking at the start here, kind of conservative from the side of Ball State. They're not really looking to go for an early invade. They're just looking to set up camp in the jungle. We get to see Boatlick dancing for us as that Poppy. But overall, just a pretty non-aggressive start from Ball State.
We're typically pretty used to Ball State invading right at the start and starting out with a kill. Not the case this game. Clearly, they're being a little more timid with this as a fight breaks out in the bot lane.
And we are going to have Quacko hooked and ignited immediately. Going to be taking quite low, going to pop that barrier. Chumslog making use of that Smolder early game AP damage. Look how low I'm Big W is already. That is absolutely so worth it for Ball State. They're establishing a great control of this lane already so early, and I think bot lane really is going to be the lane to watch as this match progresses. In the meantime, Soak Flannel might be looking for an engage here, just going to be poking out with Aatrox, doing Aatrox things.
Yep, just Aatrox doing some flippity flapping, just doing flips around this place, swinging his sword, and it's probably I don't think we're going to see much kills happening in this top lane. They're both they have so much sustain and can heal up so much. I think we're going to see them hit each other, whack each other here and there, but they're both just going to heal up to full right after.
Yep. Very different story in the bot lane, though. Poor I'm Big W has been at about a quarter of their health for basically the entire time they've been on screen, only just getting some back thanks to the level up, but this wave is crashing and they are still getting harassed. All right, Chumslog, you're converting me to the Church of Smolder here. This is just diabolical as Boatlick comes in for the gank, maybe even a dive here. I'm Big W is super, super low. Boatlick flashes in. First blood for the Cardinals, looking for a second as that Steph Top, does not quite manage to get out. Boatlick will go down in response, but that is so worth it for Ball State.
Yeah, getting an early kill on the Ashe, 2 assists for the Smolder. That's going to be quite a large gold lead right off the bat. And I believe they got a tower plate there too, so that's even more gold for them. If you look, the towers have individual sections of health. You can see it right there. Every one of those you knock down, you get a little gold if you're standing next to it. So they got that first chunk, extra gold, got 2 kills. They're going to back and get some items and just be that more aggressive here in the bot lane.
Yeah, all right. I was raising my eyebrows a bit, but Chumslug, you are doing so well with the Smolder. And it looks like that pick is shaping up to serve Ball State very nicely. In the meantime, as we see in the mid lane, Wombat Baby has been also bullying down this Orianna. Wombat Baby on the Ahri is just such a scary proposition. And, okay, NKU.
Zach doesn't have jump. He's not...
Oh, did Ball State steal? I think Ball State steals it as Boatlick goes in for the engage. There is no jump on that Zach, and the Poppy Shield is going to be preventing anybody from disengaging. The Charm is going to land onto the Nautilus. IMPW taking super, super low and is going to be downed. Steph Top is forced to hook out Ball State. It looks like they didn't quite manage to secure the Scuttle Crab. I thought for a moment that Boatlick had managed to steal it, but they will happily take yet another kill, and Ball State maybe not as much of a stomp as we're used to seeing, but by no means letting off that aggression.
I mean, Smolder's supposed to be a late game. Oh, wow.
That was almost a kill.
That was very close to being a kill. I don't think we're going to see him die here quite yet. But yeah, Smolder is supposed to be a late game champion. He's not. They didn't expect him to be starting out 1-0-2 at 4 minutes. Letting a champion that's supposed to scale late game get that much early gold is going to be a huge problem for Northern Kentucky.
Absolutely, and Smolder's passive as well scales constantly, giving him additional damage, and it's especially notable because once he hits what is it, 125 stacks, he starts doing that nasty true damage. And if you look at this gold graph here, Ball State has established a very definitive lead, sitting at a roughly 2K, 1K rather.
Is it 125 or 225?
It might be 225.
I think it might be 225. That's whenever he starts doing that true damage I mentioned. He just can, like, if people get below like a quarter health, he can just execute them. They just die.
Speaking of getting executed, off screen, Ice Alarm in the mid lane just died.
Wombat Baby just getting out of nowhere solo kills like he does every single game.
I think that was a gank from the jungler.
Okay.
So Wombat Baby, we might see a solo kill, would not be surprised. In the meantime, we're going to keep watching this bot lane getting relentlessly bullied off screen. Silk will go down.
That is the first 1v1 loss we've seen from Silk.
Yeah, that's
pushing back.
That's actually pretty big. I think the lane you want to focus on here if you're NKU is absolutely this top lane right now.
I maybe shouldn't be so excited to see our own team member die, but someone's pushing back against us. I'm so happy.
You wanted competitive games. Here we go.
And yeah, Cleve taking the most. He has the most XP in the lobby, although Wombat Baby just took that while I was saying it. Yeah, it's a relatively even game. Ball State is up 2,000 gold. The way I always like to tell new viewers, if you're trying to guess who's winning, wait, I'm going to stop talking while fight my breakout here.
Oh, the ult and the charm goes wide. That was a great dodge from Yuki there, as Ball State will at least force off NKU as they can go and secure these Void Grubs, get some extra damage on the tower. Would have been nice to pick up a kill there, but by no means the end of the world. And as you were saying,
as I was saying, the best way I like to see who is winning if you don't quite know the game very well, look at the very top of your screen. You see that there is a 10.5k gold on the side of NKU and 12.5k gold on the side of BSU. Typically, whoever has more gold is probably winning. There's situations where that's not the case, but in general, that's the easiest way to tell who's winning.
And speaking of, we are going to be having an engagement here in the bot lane. Yuki going in super deep, and the Nautilus looking full of Quokka taking super low. Is going to get ignited and will go down, but the Ignite is down for the NKU bot lane. They are down to Summoner Spell, and it doesn't look like Ball State really has the wave presence to try and re-engage here. You still have that Zac lurking in the area, and it looks like Chumpslog is just going to try and get that wave to crash if he can and just look to reset. Not what you want if you're Ball State.
You say that, but it was a good gank from the side of Northern Kentucky, but their ADC didn't get any gold from that. He didn't get an assist, didn't get a kill, and they still were able to crash the wave. So Ball State doesn't really lose much from that.
They are still, again, you are right, it is still gold going into NKU's pocket, which sucks, but for Ball State at least, you were right, it's not the end of the world. Obviously not good. You don't want to die if you can help it, but you do burn a summoner spell from the bot lane, and you do still have the lane in a good state. You are more than capable of bouncing back from that small mistake there.
And then it looks like Zac is going to be going full tank, which he probably should be in a competitive game. A Zac or a Nautilus getting a kill, they're really just going to turn that gold into like more tankiness. They're not going to deal much more damage. They're not going to like take over a game at 1v5. They're just going to get tankier. So if Ball State wants to, if the enemy has to have gold on any characters, you want it on those two.
Yeah, Ball State is sitting pretty good right now. They have the gold lead. All the characters that are getting money on the side of NKU are, again, just those tanky characters that are going to scale up. And honestly, NKU's damage, now that I'm looking at their item spread here, it's not the highest. Ball State has a lot more damage at their disposal at basically any stage of the game.
It kind of looks like they're opting to, they want this Varus to scale and be dealing most of the damage late game as a tower dive.
Ball State is looking for this tower dive. Everybody's here. The engage coming in from Bolik, and Mom comes flying in and will take out Steph Top, excuse me. Meanwhile, the shutdown will go on to Bolik there as Wombat Baby picked up a kill as well. Very well executed dive from Ball State. The shutdown does kind of suck, but I believe you actually might be able to get the tower off of this, and Ball State will happily take that.
And as I said, that shutdown went to Nautilus. If you have shutdown gold, which we haven't mentioned that, if you get a big lead, like a kill lead, a big minion lead for killing these minions, you'll get some shutdown gold. If you have to give away shutdown gold, you want to give it to Nautilus. Like,
exactly.
He's not going to be solo killing your team. He's not going to be doing all the damage. He's just going to get tankier. So it's kind of okay to be giving him gold as long as you're taking something in return.
Flannel has just been trying to get back to his tower. He is not having a good time. Just trying to keep things stabilized in this top lane. Silk, for once, is on the weak side. Off-screen, Ball State will take the first dragon of the game. That is the Cloud Drake. It's going to give some movement speed bonuses to Ball State. Pretty solid objective to have early on. We have the Rift Herald coming up soon as we maybe look for an engage here.
And I'm just slowly watching this Smolder just run away with this game. What is like almost about a 30 gold lead right now, or 30 CS lead, and 2 kills and 3 assists lead. He is getting so he has the most gold in the lobby as an ADC.
That is not what you want if you are NKU.
Typically the ADC has the least gold, or tied with their support for the least gold in the lobby. They have the most right now. Like, that's kind of insane.
Silk will go down, but Ball State has shoved in that mid lane and has the rest of their team here to contest these Void Grubs. As you can see, Ball State leading by quite a significant margin in gold now, and this objective will only expand that lead. We have seen a couple good plays from NKU, and their top lane is definitely putting in some solid work, but Ball State is just everywhere all over the map, and there just isn't much that can be done as the engage is coming on. Oh, wow, that Varus just had no chance. I'm Big W just getting gunned down in lane, unable to do anything. Wombat Baby gonna go for the engage here, misses the charm, as we have a tower dive being orchestrated onto this mid lane as well. Ball State is just fighting on all corners of the map. Mob comes in. The Nautilus is grounded, is going to pop the ultimate. The death charge will allow for the disengages. Yuki comes in for a re-engage. Jump Slug may be a dragon, but is still a very squishy one. Quokka is at barely 10% HP. Jump Slug going to safely disengage, and it looks like Wombat Baby was not able to secure that kill in the bot lane as well.
Yeah, not quite able to get what they wanted to happen right there, but they did get more tower plates, and as I say that, I think... Oh no, tower plates are still up. They haven't dropped yet. Only the first tower of each side has...
Ice Alarm, Yuki, and Surftop are all going into Wombat Baby. Wombat Baby just plain overstayed, and NKU will happily punish that mistake. That is a free kill. Really unfortunate from the side of Ball State.
Yeah, we can't be giving those away. Too many of those, and they're in the game. Like, we are used to seeing Ball State having like a 10,000 gold lead at this point. They only have, what, a 2,000?
Yeah.
2.3 thousand gold lead right now. They're not really that far ahead. They do have 6 grubs. I think they have 6. So they can push lanes pretty easily if they're able to, but other than that, they don't have any huge advantages at the moment. NKU is still very much in this game.
Oh, Cleave is going to get taken quite low. That's a lot of CC being dropped on the Garen, but Garen just has so much sustain. These items are coming online for both teams, so you can see Smolder's got the Spear of Shojin already and is looking to build into a Trinity Force, I believe. We got the Malignants coming out. Oh, and I'm going to talk about items in a second, as Yuki is now the one who was perhaps extended too far, taken super low, but that Zac passive gives Yuki a chance to respawn. Ball State's got to kill the globs before they congeal back together. That glob will be destroyed. Yuki is taken down. Seth Top almost killed, but not quite, is able to get out. Ball State still looking for an opening, but I think that opening has passed. Oh, Wombat Baby hitting that charm would have been huge, but Ball State will be forced to back off here.
So I'm liking this game a lot right now. It's not one team rolling over the other. We can like point out the mistakes. Right now, it's like a single mistake will put your team in the lead here. And we saw Wombat Baby get caught out. That was his mistake. We just saw Yuki get caught out. It's these small mistakes that are going to be losing them games. It's not the like multitude of big mistakes that we've seen other teams doing.
Oh, we might be seeing another mistake in action here as, wow,
oh my gosh.
Cleave just pops the Ignite, spins to win, lets it rip, and then summons the Divine Sword there with Garen. That was just rough on the side of Ball, from the side of Ball State. Wombat Baby gets killed bot lane 2. This is actually starting to turn slightly in the NKU's favor. Ball State still has a lead on objectives and gold lead, but NKU is clawing their way back into this game. That's a very scary looking Garen.
I'm thinking if there's a fight over this next dragon spawn, that might, whoever comes out of that fight victorious is going to be, they're the one in the lead now. Because like, Ball State does still have a gold lead, but it's like it's kind of a meaningless gold lead right now. This is such an even game right now.
Yeah, it's been very back and forth, and the gold lead is slowly but surely closing. It's about 1,000 right now, which is still significant, obviously, but it's nowhere near to what Ball State is used to. A part of me is wondering, maybe they've gotten too used to these easier teams, you know, teams that'll just let Ball State walk all over them. They're definitely struggling just a bit in these fights as they are looking to try and contest this dragon, but they don't have vision as NKU is just kind of walking into them. There's not a lot that Ball State can do in response. The engage coming in from the Garen on the Quokka. Quokka is forced to flash out, but the re-engage coming in from Ball State as both the World Ender and the Ari Ultimate are pop. Mom comes flying in, does not get a kill. Cleave on a rampage. Everyone at NKU is so low. Wombat Baby going crazy with the double kill. Is looking for a third. Will find it, and the triple kill for Ball State will secure that dragon and possibly even that mid tower. Ace for Ball State, and that is absolutely massive.
And as I said, the winner of that fight will be in the lead. And Ball State taking a very small lead and massively extending that. They are winning right now. Just if anyone was questioning, they're winning. Now, you know more about Smolder than I do. He bought armor on his last pack. If you look, he has a chain vest. Is that standard?
So Smolder really likes Spear Shojin and Sheen items, so stuff like Triforce.
Is that a frozen gauntlet?
Oh, I bet it is. It is! There it is, Frozen Gauntlet right there, okay.
Into a third AP item.
Oh, wow. We need to get Chumslog up here and ask him what he was cooking up, because now I'm so curious. So for those who might not know what these items do, Smolder basically just built the equivalent of very tank-heavy items and then started building magic damage, which for the Smolder build has been pretty unusual. He usually likes to go maybe into Quick Blades or Trinity Force after the Spear of Shojin. Wombat Baby is just going to Charm Cleave under tower, but Steph Top is there. Oh, Wombat Baby might be in a bit of a pickle here. The shutdown will go to Nautilus. It should be noted that's a bit better than the Garen, but that's still not a great death from the side of Ball State.
So here's my thinking of what Ball State's plan is. Smolder's execute scales with AP. So currently he's building his third item's going to be a full AP item.
Caught out here.
Oh
wow. There was no chance to run away.
Rip. I think this third AP item is going to make his execute.
Hold that thought as the engage comes onto the Ball State mid lane here as Chumslog forced to flash out. Mom comes flying in but is unable to really do that much damage. Yuki is looking pretty low. Chumslog dominating, has yet to die so far, sitting at a pretty 6 kills and 0 deaths off screen. I'm Big W gets taken down. Ball State, there's been a couple back and forth skirmishes, but now it looks like they are firmly deciding to take full control over Summoner's Rift here as these objectives are coming up. And that was a really solid fight for Ball State. They're going to look to move into this jungle, perhaps clear it, and start pushing this bot tower. The Herald will be dropped. Bodlik is really playing with fire here. Is going to hop into the Rift Herald and is just going to Tokyo Drift out.
To the wall. It doesn't even hit the tower. That's a little rough.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Bodlik kind of playing with fire and might get burned. The flash will be committed. Cleave is going to take down Poppy. Chumslug flaps away, and Ball State will disengage.
Well, NKU saying we may have lost that dragon fight, but we're not out of the game. They are fighting for it. This is a competitive game. Ball State's still in the lead, but losing it a little bit there. Closing the gold gap a tiny bit. But back to what I was saying. Smolder's going to get this AP item. He is playing for the execute. His execute's going to scale up to probably like half their HP. If they get to half health and he hits them once, they're just going to disappear. Executed by.
I bet he goes Riftmaker.
Yeah, probably. And Riftmaker just has him do more true damage. So he's not scaling to be the highest damage character on the team. He he trusts his team to get them down to half health. Then he just has to hit them once and they'll just disappear.
So slight correction, Riftmaker no longer does true damage anymore. It's a sneaky Season 14 thing.
Okay.
I believe he will be going Riftmaker because it does give abilities haste, while the other item that builds out of the component he has right now, Haunted Guise, Landry's Torment building out of that Haunted Guise component does not give ability haste.
Okay.
Smolder is all about having low cooldowns. Spear of Shojin reduces cooldowns. I believe Iceborne Gauntlet does have a significant amount of ability haste attached to it as well. So I'm assuming he'll be going for the ability haste. He's even got the Boots of Lucidity, so he's just going for, I just want to be able to spam my Q, spam my flap, spam my chew or my mom as much as possible.
Spam my mom. That sounds out of context. That's funny. But yeah, I keep saying that NKU's in this, but they have to come up with an answer for this this Smolder. He is 7-0-7. That is ridiculous.
And I wish there was a way we could see the stat. Oh, wait, I think we can. Oh, it's a little short on the screen. So he's at about 188 stacks right now, it looks like. So slowly making his way to that true damage passive. As the engage comes out, Steph Top is just going to walk out. Ball State didn't quite have people in position. But as I was saying, once that Smolder hits the 225 stack mark, and we'll call it out once we see it, there is going to be a lot of Smolder killing people on your screen.
And I'm not fully sure. Does he stack by killing things with his Q? Or how does he stack?
He has to last hit minions with his Q or just hit any ability on a champion. All of those will give him 1 stack. And, I mean, maybe we don't even need true damage. Cleave just kind of getting gunned down by Smolder there.
Yeah,
as the engage coming in from Boatleg. It looks like Ball State wants to fight this. I'm Big W getting killed by Wombat Baby off screen. And, oh, that is a very, very low Zac, but the passive is up. Quokka will go down. Zac has been deglobbed, but will be immediately killed by Jump Slog double kill for the Smolder at 197 stacks now, as Steph Top is trying to get out, but will be charmed immediately by Wombat Baby. And Cleave is just going to be forced to reset. NKU does not even get the mid lane tower. Everyone died for nothing. Oh, that was so close. Ball State gonna be starting this Baron.
Okay. I thought this Smolder build he'd be low damage, but he just soloed a Garen that's ahead.
Yeah.
So, like, who are the people saying this champion's bad? Because they're just wrong.
Yeah, I was hesitant. I'm gonna hold that thought for. Oh, the Poppy Boatleg using Poppy's ultimate. It's a massive hammer and it just sends Cleave flying. This Baron belongs to Ball State. That was actually a huge ultimate. Or does it? What? Cleave steals the Baron with Garrett Q, looking to take Boatleg's life. Ball State forced to reset, and the Baron buff will swing straight into NKU's open embrace. That is massive. NKU just came back in a huge way.
Okay, stealing Baron is, if you are behind, stealing Baron is the way to come back. Baron, whenever you stand next to your champions after you've killed, or your minions after you've killed Baron, it makes them do way more damage, makes them way tankier. It's hard to clear them. It also gives your team way more damage. It pretty much, as long as you have that Baron buff, which stays up for I think 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yeah.
Stays up for 3 minutes. You're so much stronger as long as you have that buff. That's a massive misstep from Ball State.
I'm not sure what happened. Quokka should have had access to the Smite Summoner spell, which just deals an immediate burst of true damage, but I just saw Cleave walk up there, press Garen's
Q.
Yeah, Q. For those who don't know, spells are bound to QWER. Garen's Q spell causes him to swing his sword in an overhanging arc. And I don't know if there was a miscommunication or Boatleg just didn't notice. I'm not sure what happened. We're going to have to put that on hold.
Oh, now the blue buff resets on them.
Oh, that sucks. We're going to put all that on hold, though, as Chump Slog is in a very bad spot. It's going to be silence. Garen spinning to win, and the Chump Slog going to try and flash out.
No.
But shut down by Cleave on the Chump Slog. This is looking really bad for Ball State. NKU has always been on the back foot, but now they are finally breaking even. They are looking to push ahead. This is a lot of gold that just went into their pocket. They have so much map pressure at the moment. This is looking really bad for Ball State. Ball State's still ahead in gold, but the map pressure is all on NKU right now.
Just waiting to see if a fight breaks out here.
You do have Yuki lurking in that bush.
The wave's cleared, so they're probably going to back.
Oh, Yuki's just engaging. All right, this might be a misstep. The charm is going to land. Oh, Yuki looking very low. Yuki does not have that Zac passive up. Yuki's just going to die right here. Wombat Baby on a killing spree. Does have those dashes available, but will happily just take that kill for free. Yuki once again going just a bit too far forward, and Ball State looking to maybe engage with the Cleave, but Cleave does just manage to get out. Ball State not quite in position to follow up on that.
So right now is when Ball State needs to get a little scared. Garen is backing. And Garen just took a 900 gold shutdown off of Chumslog here. So he gets that 900 gold plus 300 from a regular kill. That is 4 kills worth of gold from 1 kill. This Garen has so much money. He's going to back and have a massive item lead off of this back.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Basically the exact same amount of gold that Chumslog have after just 1 play.
1 play. He probably went from the hat. Like, probably he was in the middle of the pack of that list. Now he's richest person in the lobby. Like, he is scary now. If that Garen gets near you, he can kill you quick, and he does not take much damage.
Yeah, that's the dangers of letting a Garen spiral out of control, and it really is just going to come down to how are these teams going to play these fights? Who's going to position better? Who's going to do a better job of keeping track of cooldowns, summoner spells? This is tense. We are on a knife's edge here. Ball State technically still ahead, but this game could turn on its head for them very, very quickly.
At this point, their gold lead. Oh, Garen going in.
Oh, the disengage from Quokka as Chumslog forced to flap away. Here comes the Boatlick just trying to keep their ADC alive, but the numbers are not here, but the positioning is as NKU forced to back out. They aren't quite sure where all of the Cardinals are, and both teams just going to take the opportunity to just take a little breather.
And if you look, Chumslog going into another AP item. He is just going to go full AP this game. He's looking for that execute damage, and really that needs to be Ball State's plan right now. They can't really just dominate fights anymore. They don't have that lead. The sides NKU is very, very tanky, so one member can't really just solo carry the game until this Smolder gets his 225 stacks.
It should be noted, I just received word from the back room, Smolder has hit that point.
Okay.
So Smolder will start to do true damage, will start to execute, and building that Riftmaker, building that Leandri's Torment are going to assist with that a lot. Chumslog is Ball State's biggest ticket to shutting down this Garen.
And Garen is pretty much the carry for Northern Kentucky right now. These are the two to watch in these upcoming fights.
We have both these teams just playing very safe at the moment. They're trying to go play for these objectives when they come up, but since there isn't really an objective up, they're just getting vision, trying to figure out where everybody is, collecting minion waves when they can. Like I said, knife edge. Any mistake here could prove disastrous for either team.
Yeah, I think they're just all trying to play for these objectives. They're going to wait for Baron spawn, they're going to wait for Dragon spawn, and then that is when we will see the fights that play out.
Dragon is coming up in 20 seconds, and this would be the soul point. After this Dragon is killed, the next one would claim the soul, and this soul is the Mountain Soul, which would give a lot of tanky stats that both teams would absolutely love to have. And we can see here, the vision control is there. NKU is currently in the river. Ball State doesn't really have a good path in. Smolders and Chu goes wide, and here comes the engage. Perhaps Ball State forced to disengage their Wombat Baby, forced to use that ultimate. Ball State absolutely really wants to take this Dragon fight. The charm goes wide, and Chu does land. It's just going to be a bit of poke damage. Neither team willing to commit. The second that someone jumps in, it is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Cleave walking up, maybe looking for something here.
And Quokka just going to shove out that mid wave, kind of the advantage of having an Ashe.
And here comes the engage. As Boatlick is going to jump on the Cleave, and I spoke a bit too soon, but it looks like NKU is just going to start this Dragon. As Silk Flannel had TP'd off screen, the Poppy Hammer will send that Garen flying, and this is Ball State's ticket to get in it. Mom comes down. Nobody is dead yet, but people are very low. I think W goes down. Wombat Baby goes down and returns shut down by Nautilus. The Garen ult lands, and that is massive. Shut down onto the Orianna by the Ashe.
Ball State has to run.
Ball State is not going to win this fight. Do they have the damage? I don't think they do. Your Smolder is dead. You cannot stop Cleave, an unstoppable force. But Ball State is trying to be the immovable object.
He steals it again.
We'll go to NKU. Ball State is trying to get something, anything from this. but that Garen will not die as Yuki re-engaging on the boatlick. Yuki taken so low, shut down onto the Nautilus by Flannel there, Silk Flannel there, and the Zac will eventually go down. That passive will not be enough to save them. Ball State will at least get 2 kills for their trouble. But oh man, this is NKU's ticket to start putting the pressure on.
I can feel just the pain of as a jungle main. That smite dropped it to like 4 health.
Yeah.
And then Garen took it. Oh, it's just so unlucky. It's hard to time that. It's so hard to time that.
It's just rough. You know, you just gotta shake it off. You just gotta keep going. It happens. But Ball State, that was not good for them. But they are still ahead in gold. They still very much have a chance to make plays happen. But losing that dragon is not something they wanted.
And it being a mountain drake is rough. The mountain dragon gives increased defensive stats to your team. And now this Garen has 2 mountain drags to make him even tankier.
And we might be seeing an engagement here. That Oriana's taken solo. Ice Alarm going down. That was great from Bolik. Once again, Ice Alarm, NKU rather, I should say, just finding themselves a bit too far forward, and Ball State more than happy to punish that. And this could be big, as this Baron has spawned now, and Ball State has a numbers advantage for at least 40 seconds.
But Smolder finishing 4th item.
Oh yeah, Smolder's execute damage is going to be absolutely terrifying now.
Ball State just has to keep him alive in these fights.
Oh, and Mom will come out, and that damage is ticking down. The execute connects. Chump Slog will take down Steph top, and that Varus is very, very low on Big W. Is just going to have to disengage, and that's Baron right there for Ball State. You just can't take it when 2 members of your team are dead.
We saw how close those fights are. Extremely close when there's 5 members up. If you're a member down right now, you really just can't fight. As the Zac jumps in, blocked by the Poppy.
Yuki wants to steal this, but I don't know if he'll be able to. The damage is too much. Chump Slog will get the execute.
The
Varus looking to steal.
Okay.
And Chump Slog will take the Baron Nasher as well. Smolder execute going absolutely wild right now. I'm Big W getting taken down.
Does Smolder execute work on objectives?
No, it does not. Well, I phrased that weirdly, didn't I? I was just talking about Chump Slog's damage.
Well,
in
it
general.
looked like he executed it. It was at 1,400 health, and then suddenly Chump Slog had the kill. It might have just, must have just been timed with Smite, I'd imagine.
My best guess is that would be disgusting if he could execute objectives.
Remember, Collector used to do that. Collector used to execute minions, towers, and objectives.
That was a dark day. I don't think anybody misses that Collector era.
Oh, it was fun, though.
All right, that's huge for Ball State. I would say almost bigger than NKU getting a dragon, because Baron is going to offer you so much more at this stage in the game. And look at that Smolder damage. That wave was just obliterated. And because Chump Slug has built a couple of tanky items, look at Smolder's health. That's a decent chunk of health, especially for a squishy ADC.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember if all the stats on these AP items, but do all 4 of those items give him health?
Yes.
So he's essentially a bruiser right now. Normally, you build as an ADC, you build full glass cannon, but the fight's breaking out.
Glaive is caught way too far out, getting a bit too confident in that Garen strength. And the shutdown going to Chump Slog is absolutely massive here.
Honestly, Ball State might be able to just go and just completely open their base off of that. Garen's really the only thing keeping them from just ending the game.
Yeah, honestly. We talked about it. Sometimes all you got to do with Smolder is just you got to wait to the end game until you start deleting people. And Chump Slog has been absolutely wrecking NKU. The Smolder damage is insane. Mom will connect and will just immediately take out Yuki. There's nothing you can do, buddy. I'm sorry. Ball State looking to end here. I think this could be game, as they are just moved. That top lane is being pushed in. That mid lane is being pushed in. Ball State is at least in a very good spot to do some serious damage. Here it comes. Here comes the engage. Oh, Quokka taking very low, and that's an incredible flash coming out from Quokka. Chump Slog unstoppable, and I think this is it for Ball State. Longest game so far this season, sitting at about 33, but they are going to reset here, so even if I'm confident they can end, it looks like Ball State just wants to play it safe, which honestly, considering how back and forth things have gone, fair play.
Oh, Garen's still scary, though. I mean, he sprints out of that and just one-taps Chump Slog. It makes the game pretty hard, so
yeah.
I think that's safe. Get Chump Slog some health, let him back out. He is picking up that Bloodthirster, his first, or I guess it's his second AD item of the game.
His first crit item.
It's his first crit item, but he's mostly just building it for health. He really just does not want to die this game, which is, honestly, that's Ball State's route to victory. Do not let Chumpslog die.
The second that Smolder dies, NKU has an opportunity to do anything they want to the Cardinals, honestly. They are going to be trying to steal this dragon, but Red Team will just take that down. Red side, of course, being Ball State. And they are maybe looking to engage on the Yuki here. I think they sussed out where they were. Yuki going to be forced to jump away as the rest of NKU falls. Does Ball State really want to commit to this? This seems like a bit of a risky fight. Ball State going to go in. Yuki is gaining so much health. Cleve will take that Wombat baby as Silk here is just forced to run away. Boatlick taking super low. Ball State, you do not want to fight this. You need to leave right now, and leave they shall. That is an unfortunate mistake from the Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty terrible play went about as well as they could have hoped. If they lost 1 or 2 more members there, then we could maybe be talking about Northern Kentucky opening up the base of Ball State. Good thing those other 2 did not die.
Yeah, honestly, that's a little bit of luck there, but you take those. NKU not able to punish that mistake as efficiently as they would like. Ball State is ahead in gold, but this game has reached the point where any team fight is just going to spell disaster. We are hitting that 35-minute mark, and once games get to be this long, it's just a slugfest. Whoever dies first loses so much.
And this is like more than double the length of any of our other games that have gone. This is
absolutely.
I'm glad. I've been telling people, tune into this game. This is going to be the competitive one, and I didn't lie. I'm happy.
All right. No objective spawning for a bit. Ball State is honestly at this point just kind of looking for some kind of opening. They have the better late game with the Smolder. They just need NKU to give them any kind of opening.
Yep, and like I've said, just keep Chumpslog alive at any cost. He is your damage. And yeah, I mean, he's your damage. You got to keep him alive. Luckily, Ball State's team is very good and built around being able to keep him alive. Let's just see if they're able to play it out in these fights. They are going to push into the base right here. Baron's about to spawn, so they're probably just trying to get some lane priority, get their waves pushed so they can back up to this Baron. And I'd imagine Northern Kentucky is going to try to contest them.
Ball State getting a Baron here would probably spell the end of things for Northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky is going to need to make a play happen. Baron is spawning in 40 seconds. Northern Kentucky either needs to make something happen now or will need to contest this Baron, both of which are pretty tall orders, but they have shown that they are up to the task.
Ooh, the Ash Arrow just missing Varus there in the bot lane.
Unable to quite secure it. But Northern Kentucky just needs to take down Chumpslog. That is the priority target. Once that Smolder is removed from the equation, you have a lot of room to do things. And oh no, Chumpslog forced to flash out, but the engage coming in from Zach. Mom will be launched by Chumpslog as the fight breaks out. This is it, everyone. This is the fight to be waiting for, and it is not going the Cardinals' way. The shutdown onto the Smolder. Ball State is going to be forced to disengage, but Garen will not let them cleave. Has a double kill, is looking for that triple. Silk is on a rampage, but it doesn't matter. The Garen gets the triple kill. Can NKU end off this? No, not quite, but NKU just got back into the game in a very big way, and they will easily be able to secure this Baron.
I don't know if they can. Their 3 slowest Baron takers are the ones that are alive right now.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I haven't called it out. Well, look at
I guess they only lost 1, but yeah, they have a very slow Baron take. I'm Big W is really the only one that can take it very quickly.
It looks like they're trying to get something happening, but Silk is split pushing and is actually going to run down Isolab. Come on, Silk! Oh, I know he is chomping at the bit for that kill. He has been weak-sided for so long this game, but is not going to push. Is not going to push it. Just going to reset. We are approaching a 40-minute game, perhaps.
How do we feel about the TP into the back immediately? Maybe he thought he was getting collapsed on in the bot lane?
Perhaps.
A little rough. Would have been better if he hadn't wasted his TP there.
We're approaching a 40-minute game. I'm gonna excuse it. I'm going to excuse it. These things happen.
He will be there for the fight, though. Don't think it's going to matter too much. Garrett getting caught out.
Oh,
is he going to go down?
bomb is going to be launched, and Cleve going down here would be absolutely massive, but Yuki would be a solid kill as well. Yuki getting taken down super, super low. Cleve is barely hanging on.
This is
And
Ball
the
State's
engage.
fight.
Oh my gosh, the engage. This is it. This is Ball State. This is exactly what Ball State needs. Chumpslog will takes down Ice Alarm. Chumpslog looking to go for another kill here. Gets the double kill as this Garen will be caught out. And that is it. The triple kill and another kill for Silk. The shutdown onto Cleve. That has got to feel so good if you're Silk.
Ooh.
Double kill coming out. Ball State, just before the 40-minute mark, is looking to end Game 1 against NKU. And wow, what a fight it was to get here.
What a great victory for Ball State. That I want to see that game every week. I want to see competitive like that. What is this feeling I've got? I'm like,
Woo, that was.
I'm stressed out for the first
Yeah,
time.
that
I thought we were gonna go down.
There were multiple times where I thought, oh man, that's it, isn't it? But
We managed to pull it through. Ball State taking the victory largely on the back of Chumslog. Like, gosh.
So in the Smolder debate, I was largely, I guess, indifferent. I was of the opinion, I think he's got a pretty solid early, but I don't think he's ever going to be a super amazing champion. Chumslog, as I said it earlier, I'll say it again, has converted me to the Church of Smolder.
Yeah, I hate having Smolder on my team. I feel like he's normally just useless at all points of the game, but that build was so good.
Yeah, it was the early ability power into getting, I think he might have grabbed the Sheen before going into Spear of Shojin. To Sheen, into Shojin, into Iceborne, into Riftmaker Leandri's Bloodthirster. What?
It's like nobody except for really the Garen could kill him. He was so tanky for an ADC, which no one expects. You're a Zac and you jump on top of an ADC. You expect that ADC to blow up and just die.
We can look at the stats here. Chumslog, aka Gerald1, sitting on
Gerald1.
Yeah, also sitting on just barely the most gold in the lobby, followed closely by Cleve. Ball State overall pulled way, way ahead in the economy game. Ball State did a very good job of, I think, pressuring these early objectives. It was a bit of a slugfest in the late game, but I think where Ball State really shone as a team was in that early to mid game. They got a lot of really early objectives and always managed to keep a gold lead no matter how slim.
And I just want to point out, they target banned bot lane. They target banned Quilco supports. They stole the Varus. They did not want them having a good comp. And they still won bot lane dominantly.
Yeah.
Like, just our bot lane is, our whole team's insane, but gosh, our bot lane's insane.
Yeah, well played to both Chumslog and Quokka. That was incredible. You know, you got dealt kind of a rough series of cards. Even had us over here wondering, I don't know how that bot lane is going to go, but man, that was highlight of the match easily.
Now, one thing I say after every game, if you're Northern Kentucky, what do you do different to win that game?
So, I'm not sure if I banned the Smolder. I realize it did a lot. I think banning out that Ashe would be very helpful. I think that Ashe enabled that Smolder a lot. I think just drafting... What else did I not like? I didn't like the Nautilus with the Varus. I didn't feel like the Nautilus was doing a lot.
I feel like that Seraphine hover would have done a lot more.
Honestly, yeah. Seraphine's got some solid shields. I don't know how she is into Smolder per se, but she does struggle a bit into Ashe, I believe. I mean, kind of any range support struggles into Ashe, not gonna lie.
It's just, you have an Ashe Smolder. Smolder's building his like early poke damage build. You're gonna get, I feel like you have to match that or try to do something that can poke them back even more, which in my opinion would be Varus Seraphine.
Yeah, Varus Seraphine does seem like a solid response to that. Maybe if you don't want to try and poke them back and just scale, honestly, just grabbing a scaling enchanter. I was joking about it earlier. Not the Dark Harvest variant, but maybe just picking up a Milio there wouldn't have been a terrible option.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Or even like a Lulu. Get that Aatrox off your team. Like, turn him into a little bug. Get him off your team for a little bit.
So the top lane surprised me. I both of us, neither of us knew that matchup super well, Garen and Aatrox, but I did not expect Silk to get solo killed off screen.
So I think it was last season. It was Garen's first time ever being played in pro play. And I think like some Korean team picked him. And that exact same thing happened. The Garen, out of nowhere, everyone thought it was a troll pick, 1v5 the game, dominated top lane, and just solo carried the whole game. And I was kind of just in the back of my mind, like worried. I'm like, they're not used to this matchup. Garen's like really, you can't predict what he's going to do. Maybe the Garen 1v5s this game, and I got real scared throughout there. I thought it was happening.
It almost did. I truly believe that that Smolder was the only gate keeping that Garen in check. Garen building a lot of health, and Smolder deals a lot of damage to high health characters, building max HP % damage. So that made the Garen, as long as Chumpslog positioned well and his team played around him, Cleve had some troubles.
And we saw those couple fights where Chumpslog did get caught out and was able to be taken down. Garen just kind of took over the fights.
Yeah,
and
it was
couldn't
scary.
do anything. So I said, what if you're in Northern Kentucky? If I was Ball State, honestly, I'd ban Garen.
So,
I think that our top laner is good enough to compete with any other meta top laners, any other matchups. I think that Garen's just kind of too of an oddball. I don't think he knows how to deal with it.
it could be. I don't know if I ban Garen if I'm Ball State, because there are you want Cassante out of that top lane if
That's
you're not
true.
picking
That's
him.
true.
I think Garen is an oddball, and I think it is very strong. But I think the only reason Cleve was performing so well in those team fights is because he was already strong by winning that solo lane.
That's true.
Granted, that did become a massive problem for Ball State. But I think if you keep the Garen even or behind, or just don't give him a lot of early agency, I don't think it needs to be something you want to worry about necessarily on draft. It is an oddball pick, and there have been even cases of people at the very highest of leagues, like in Worlds, I think Adam picked Garen a couple of times. To great effect. It's Adam would either get super far ahead or just get super far behind and then just kind of run it down, but run it down so that his team could perform adequately.
I mean, he's probably just split pushing them to death because
Yeah.
Garen can kind of do everything. He's extremely fast, so he can run away from anyone. He can get 4 people rotate over to deal with him. He just sprints away. Does a ton of damage. He gets very tanky. That champion's not to be trifled with. Like,
Yeah, I feel like it kind of gets poo-pooed by the community a bit at large, because it's the champion that if everyone says, I'm brand new to League of Legends, what champion should I pick? The 2 most popular answers are Annie and Garen.
oh, I mean, not to take away from that player. Clearly, Cleve was playing very well.
Yeah, oh no,
But
absolutely. What
Garen's pretty easy to play. Like,
Yeah, no, Garen is easy to play, and I think the simplicity to his kit can cause people to underestimate what you can do if you get creative with it. And I think we saw Cleve really getting creative with it, and it benefited him quite well.
Yeah, so out of that top lane, I don't expect, if I'm Silk Flannel, someone who's, he brawls everyone in the top lane. He's used to just stomping top lane. I think he's going to keep trying that, and we'll see if he decides that Garen is just too hard to deal with or not. He might just, not pick Aatrox and pick a counter that he knows works.
I think another thing NKU is going to need to do for this draft is the Zac has got to go.
Yeah.
Ball State drafted the most anti-Zac comp I have seen in a hot minute, and that was a very anti-Zac comp. Boatlick was there with the shields. Wombat Baby was there with the charm.
Yep.
It was not fun.
And I think there's a lot of anti-Zac comps out there. I think there's just too much that Ball State can pick into that Zac. If they do want to pick it, they need to wait till Ball State's already picked, 4 of their champions, so that he can't just be hard countered. We're gonna need to see some different jungle picks. Also, I think Zac Poppy's kind of boring. It's kind of boring to me. They're just 2 kind of beefy tank CC characters. I want to see some damage. Pull out the Viego, pull out the Nidalee, pull out the Graves. Give me some fun in the jungle.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see. I think we'll still be seeing. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Sejuani, to be honest. I know Ball State's pulled that out a couple of times.
I think we'll see Sejuani, Xin Chao, same old brawler, bruiser, tank characters.
Probably.
Who-
If I'm Ball State, I don't necessarily know if I want to stick with the Smolder, to be honest, because that felt very much like that whole draft was built around Smolder.
The fact that he hovered it for so long makes me think that he was sitting there like, guys, I swear it works here. Into this matchup, we're gonna dominate. Please let me pick it. Let me pick it. And they all are like, fine, you can pick the Smolder. And clearly it performed, but I don't think he's gonna just like blind pick it into anything. It's definitely, I feel like he picked it because he knew it countered those two.
Yeah. But, I mean, who knows? I was, like I said, just 40 minutes ago, I was kind of like, it's Smolder, you know? And then Smolder wound up being by far the biggest win condition for Ball State in that game.
Yeah, and I mean, every week Ball State pulls out a new pick. We can just play everything. Like, we're forgetting about a lot of champions that typically aren't played very much just because they're either like really high skill cap, like only mains play those characters, or they're just like more obscure characters. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull out something we just don't ever see.
I'm waiting for that legendary Silk Flannel Singed top lane game. I know you won't let me down.
That sounds super trolly. That sounds like they want to lose if they pick that. But honestly, go for it.
If any
go for
team
it.
in the ESC is going to pull off a comp with Singed in it, I'm very confident it would be the Cardinals.
Yeah.
like any team in the ESC, like it's going to be the Cardinals.
Well, there you have it. Let's see the Singed top Silk Flannel. No more of this Fiora, Aatrox garbage. Like,
none of that nonsense.
pull out the Vayne top into Garen next round.
Or, you know, he could
Just pull out some ranged characters.
Wow.
Pull out the Akshan, yeah. Make him not enjoy top lane.
So for those again, for those at home who may not be super aware, certain characters in the top lane can be hard countered if you just pick someone like Vayne or Akshan who can shoot at a range and bully them.
Because typically top laners are melee.
Yes, it's kind of considered a bit ungentlemanly, I guess.
Yeah.
And especially in an organized environment such as this, you don't typically do that because most of the people who have some range that can be taken top lane are not great team fighters. And team fighting is super important in organized play especially. So typically, you're not going to see the Vayne and Akshan top just because, well, where am I going to put my bruiser or my tank? Like, where's that going?
We're not going to see it. I'm making a joke. Maybe if we get a really weird team comp going on.
Yeah, Ball State's pulled out some goofy team comps before. Wouldn't be shocked to see it, but...
I mean, maybe we have like a Galio mid and a Sejuani jungle, then maybe we'll put a ranged character top, but I doubt it.
Remember when Callista top was a thing?
A short period of time, yeah. I barely see that champion in the ADC role, so top lane, I maybe saw it one time.
I'd like to see Callista. Not very meta, has kind of been relegated to a solo queue character for like the 3 people that play Callista.
Yeah.
But, when she is good, she's a terrifying lane bully.
Well, she was, I believe, is it this patch? She is apparently considered broken on either last patch or this patch. I can't remember right now because she either got nerfs or is getting nerfs.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember, I think it was last Wednesday, I was like, I expect to see a Callista ban, and I saw no Callista bans or picks. I was wrong. But I do think people are sleeping on that champion.
It is just a hard champion, the pilot, right? So for those who may not be aware, when Callista auto attacks, she gets a free dash every time she does it. So
yeah, they should definitely pick Callista this game.
Yeah, you guys are picking Callista,
they should really
right?
pick Callista. I want to see some Callista.
Yeah, I got a thumbs up from Chubslog. They're picking Callista.
I don't know why we're forcing him onto Callista, but...
I don't know. We were talking about Callista.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is a champion that... She makes my hands hurt. Because, like, you gotta when you're clicking to move her, you can't auto attack move. You can't use a move. You have to just manually input all your clicks with one button. So whatever finger you're using to click is just getting such a workout because Callista, once she auto attacks, she can basically use that animation to dash. And so in League of Legends, you click to move and click to attack. So if you're ever friends with the Callista player, you're going to be hearing a lot of like a going on as they're zipping all around the screen and probably giving themselves carpal tunnel.
Yeah, it's a rough champion to play. It's I know Chumslog's good. Does he have the Callista practice? That's like a whole nother game.
Yeah, that's it. That champion is kept in pro jail for a reason, especially because once you get super good with it, it's just terrifying to go up against. Well, I feel like we've exhausted a lot of our draft opportunities here. We know what NKU needs to do. They need to drop the Zac,
Yep.
maybe rework the mid a bit. Oriana's kind of evergreen. I don't hate it. I think it works in a lot of comps. I would definitely love to see a new jungle and new support. As for the side of Ball State, I'm just kind of wanting to feel it out a bit.
Yeah.
I think if anything, the one thing I'd want to see them change is, like you said, I'm assuming they're not going to draft Zac, so a different jungler here. Would be cool to see a damage pick, but we're probably going to get something like the Xin Zhao, the J4, the Sejuani even. I know Ball State's pulled out the Sejuani before, so.
Then we got the mid lane. You mentioned they'll probably, Oriana's fine. Do we want to pull out the Ahri? I feel like the Ahri was kind of like middling this game. Like, she did good, but kind of wasn't amazing this game, I guess.
The Ahri to me almost felt like a counter pick for the Zac and Garen, to be entirely
that could be
truthful.
true because she does a lot of true damage.
She's got that true damage. She's got the charm, especially, which is when someone's running at you, charming them as Ahri is a great way to give your team a couple precious seconds to disengage. Again, like Oriana, I also think it is an evergreen pick. I don't think there's ever really a composition which Ahri can't be slotted into. It's just a question of what's a more optimal pick.
Yeah. It really, just seeing how competitive this game is, I'm not sure what they want to do.
Yeah, I didn't hate Ball State's draft last game at all, actually, and I only had very minor qualms with, well, I say minor, but I feel like that Zac was actually not great.
Zac is such a weird character. I feel like he's a tank that scales, and tanks, typically the later the game goes, they're stronger. But I feel like he relies on early ganks and early kills a lot to get to that point, or else he just doesn't provide as much as other tanks do.
It sort of feels like a Nunu, where you need to just spend the first 10 minutes of the game constantly fighting, and then suddenly you
That's
become
what
a
I
tank.
want to see, though. I want to see the Nunu.
The Nunu. I would love to see a Nunu so bad in any organized game ever. You have no idea, but that champion is just made for solo queue.
Yeah, I don't know how they'd make it work. But if anyone's gonna make it work, it'd be Ball State. I mean,
yeah. While we're shouting requests to the players, Ball State players, if you're listening, could you please do the full AP Nunu jungle with Hextech Rocket Belt? I think that would be very funny.
Yeah, and in true Nunu player fashion, you must be screaming while rolling in at all times. Nunu players have to scream. It's just kind of a rule.
Yeah.
So we want to hear lots of noise.
Absolutely. I believe we are going to be throwing it to a commercial real quick. So when we come back, hopefully draft will have started or be almost starting, and then we can regale you with more, I don't know, Nunuisms. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Be right back.
Going for the knife kill. He's gonna get it again. He gets the knife kill.
Oh my God. Gerald with the shield. Wow. Mello getting out with blasters on a killing spree. Getting right into the action with the Doomfist here, making one Doom punch.
All right, welcome back. everybody. We are not quite in draft yet. We are still waiting on a bit of a tech issue. Once again, Riot Games and all its spaghetti code glory has decided to take a bit of a break.
Oh, I mean, I told you, Wombat Baby's computer, one of these, just decided to give up mid-game.
Yeah.
And it's probably a Riot problem.
Oh, it's 1,000% a Riot problem. These computers are fantastic.
Yeah, so now I believe this similar thing happened to Julian. You know, Riot Games just doesn't want him to be allowed to play on a computer. So swapping computers, just waiting for next draft after we get through that. And yeah, just hanging out in the meantime.
Julian being Silk Flannel.
Oh, yeah.
For those who may not know. Yeah, this is a thing that we've been trying to do, especially since Ball State Esports has grown a lot. Because I remember my very first time casting here, my family would watch the games I'd cast, and for stuff like Rocket League and Valorant, like, you know, you could kind of tell what's going on. Car hits ball, gun shoots object, things like that. And then for League of Legends, my dad texted me midway through the broadcast. We didn't get to see it until after it, but he said, that seems very interesting, and this seems very cool. I have no clue what's going on. So what we've been trying to do, what Ball State Esports has been trying to do, is try and get League a bit more palatable, but it is a behemoth of a game.
It's tough. I mean, just for us, I myself, it probably took 3 months of just losing every single game to even know what's happening on my screen. It's a deep game. It's tough to learn. Don't feel, oh, hey, we're in draft.
Hey, we're in draft. It looks like Silk Flannel is allowed back onto the Rift. And yeah, once again, don't feel lost. It's okay. We've all been there. Pyke getting banned out immediately. Cassante getting banned out immediately. Senna, all right, we are just going straight for the priority picks. And
repeat of last game.
They just do not want Quokka playing that Pyke, I guess.
And honestly, target ban him some more. If I was them, yeah.
Varus is just gone.
There you go. Target ban that bot lane.
So, all right, Ball State going for these priority picks, and those are priority picks coming out from bans from the side of KSU as well, but definitely they just don't want that bot lane coming online again.
And I will say one thing, I'll give our production staff a little more to do. If you in the audience have any questions about the game, feel free to ask it in chat. They'll whisper in our ear. We'll give you some answers.
Oh, okay.
If there's something that we're just not explaining well enough for you, go ahead and ask.
Interesting. All right.
Wow.
So Varus and Ashe have been banned out entirely. And that means Karma has been left open. Smolder are going to be locked in instantly.
Interesting.
I'm not sure I like the insta-lock into Smolder, only because I'm still not sure how I can feel about that character after just one game. But Karma has been very, very strong this patch. Leaving it open is quite dangerous. And yeah, Ball State's just taking it. Karma, crazy strong this patch. I believe she's due for nerfs this upcoming patch. But for now, will be still a powerhouse that can be flexed into both top lane, mid lane, and support. So crazy flex pick from Ball State. This just gave them a lot of room to maneuver in their draft.
Okay, I know questions have been asked. Once the draft is over, I'll get to it.
And what?
Samira locked in for our bot lane. What? I don't... Okay, so Samira is a kind of like a melee / range ADC. Very... Not a common champion you see in competitive play nowadays.
You don't even see her in solo queue. Nobody plays this character.
And you typically see her with like a knock-up support.
So that can't be a Karma support. That's a Karma mid, surely. Oh! Wow, okay, so a lot has just happened.
Okay, I have a question. Is there a chance... No, I was going to say, is there a chance the graphics are swapped? But those are our standard bans. I don't think they are.
I don't think they are either. So... Ball State is going to be locking in Smolder and Nami. I like the Enchanter support with Smolder. I saw Mildio being hovered.
Is that a Kennen?
And so that is Fiora that has been picked by NKU. And Silk Flannel is
a Fiora. He's the Fiora
player.
The
Fiora player of the ESC. A challenge has just been thrown down by NKU. I can beat you, Silk Flannel, at your own game. And this Kennen is being counterpicked. I just talked about ranged top laners. You don't normally pick them. This is an instance where you pick them. You pick the ranged top laner to counterpick the Fiora and make their life miserable. This is and we can't pick Samira. Like who picks Samira? Nobody plays this character.
I still want to see the support. I'll be. If that's a Karma support, that's such a weird bot lane.
I would lean towards calling it in. I don't know. Maybe Ball State's cooking something in the kitchen, but this draft is. I'm freaking out a little, man. Like, there's a lot of.
Also, we haven't even talked about the Nami. How often do you see Nami?
Yeah, Nami's kind of fallen out of favor, especially with Millie. What is going on?
Is that
it's Camille support? It's Camille support. It's Samira Camille support.
Wait, does her ult knock up? Is that a knock up?
Her hook will count for Samira to be able to jump on it and engage, and I believe her ult should count as well. I'm not 100% sure on that. I know her hook shot does. And here, what is happening? This TF is being picked to deny it from Wombat Baby, I presume. This is a crazy draft.
I'm like speechless.
I mean this in like the best way possible.
Yes.
This is an absolutely buck wild draft I am looking at.
Lock it.
The Graves is being hovered.
This gives us our Nidalee open if they lock the Graves.
The Nocturne I like a bit more than the Graves.
No, give us Graves. Okay, that's fine. Still kind of a fun pick. Nidalee open is all I'm saying.
Nidalee's open. This is a crazy draft from Ball State.
Or are they going to opt for some more knockup for the Samira?
I wouldn't be shocked to see a Sejuani, actually, or even a Xin Zhao. Yeah, Xin Zhao hasn't been banned, so that's what I'm kind of leaning.
Yes!
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Yes! Thank you. Thank you, team.
So, both these drafts are going to be fight.
Wait,
constantly.
wait.
I think they're messing around. Don't worry. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Got scared for a second there. Both these drafts are very fight heavy. NKU taking picks from Ball State once again, but this time these feel like almost personal challenges. Like you take the Varus, whatever. You know, our ADC, Varus, not necessarily his signature champion. He'll play around, but Twisted Fate, TF as he's often known, and Fiora are almost iconic picks for our mid and top laners. This feels like a challenge from NKU, and the question is, can Ball State rise to the occasion?
I'm just gonna warn you. I'm about to be annoying you with Viego facts this game. Seeing a player that I know is amazing at this game on probably my favorite champion. I'm very excited. I feel like the Smolder doesn't really fit into this game.
I am almost 100% certain most of these picks are made to deny Ball State from picking them, which is a strat, to be fair. It does give you some more opportunity to ban out certain things. It just, I don't know. I don't feel like there's granted, I don't think there is at least a more synergy with what Ball State is going on. There's a lot of options for this Samira to jump onto somebody and a lot of peel for this Samira as well. Ball State, however, is lacking a bit of a front line. That Kennen is going to cut into the front line quite a bit. But then again, to that same effect, NKU doesn't have the strongest front line either. You're basically going to be relying on this Nocturne to start a fight and then hoping the rest of your team can follow up. That Fiora is even taking Ghost. So they really are going to be playing around this Nocturne ultimate would be my best guess as to what this draft is supposed to accomplish. Both these, it's not like the most crazy synergistic draft between each of these two teams. They're just looking to kind of duke it out on Summoner's Rift.
I expect this game to be over in 20. I don't know which team's going to win it, but I think one team's just going to get a ton of kills right off the bat and just steamroll the game.
There's a joke on the Chinese super server. All games are going to be over in like 20 minutes, and one side's going to have like 100 kills, and the other side's going to have like none.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like that's what we're going to get.
That's what I'm expecting here.
I would not be shocked to see just 5-man, both these guys run into the jungle and just level 1 team fight.
Now, the first thing I'm looking for this game is the Viego going to start the correct ability level 2.
Oh, you are going to be annoying about this, I can tell.
Oh, yeah. Because last time we saw this champion, he went the wrong ability level 2, made his clear extraordinarily slow, and then did nothing all game. So, yeah, I'm gonna be annoyed this game.
All right, I'm excited to see it. I mean, these drafts are clearly, like I said, it's going to be a slugfest on Summoner's Rift.
Yeah.
There's some synergy between these drafts. There's definitely ideas behind it. But compared to the previous game, this feels much more like, all right, guns out, guns blazing. We are just going to brawl it out. I think if I had to pick on paper which one I like more, I think just because of the flexibility that's offered with the Karma and just the fact that you have so many options for the Samira to engage, I do like it a bit better because it kind of feels like NKU is sort of drafting to crutch up this Nocturne a bit. You have the Ghost on the Fiora. You have the Twisted Fate ultimate. What I'm expecting to happen is Nocturne's ultimate darkens the map, and then he can jump out from the shadows. So it makes it difficult for the team opposing Nocturne to really coordinate. So he's going to be trying to use that to sow confusion while the rest of NKU engages in, but NKU doesn't have like a ton of engage outside of that Nocturne is the problem.
But then there's also, so I've talked about it, Viego's passive, he steals souls. If this Nocturne jumps on anyone and they get that kill, Nocturne Soul is powerful.
Yeah, that's a scary champion.
Like, if they get that, they can just kind of win the fight. And honestly, if he gets any soul, with the way these team comps are set up, they can just win the fight. And Ball State's team comp has so much damage in it that I don't think it's going to be hard for him to get that first soul and then just snowball the fights.
This early game is going to be incredibly important. Whoever gets a lead early is going to have a really easy time of maintaining it, even easier than last time. Ball State did establish a lead early last time, but it wasn't really until the mid game where they started significantly pulling ahead. I think we're going to be seeing a lead established way sooner.
And then we're seeing our bot lane almost always establishes the early lead, even in the last game where it was still pretty even. Smolder, we saw, even with the lead, Smolder's not doing that much damage. Samira with a lead is 1v5ing your team. Like, she can just walk in and kill everyone on her own. If the play continues the way it has, I think the Samira is just going to take over the game. And
the thing is,
that's
though,
my prediction.
Smolder is going to be your insurance policy as NKU. No matter what, once that character hits that 225 stack sweet spot, that's a lot of damage that you have to deal with the second you start a fight. You can't wait to jump on the Smolder. You have to go straight for the Smolder, and both these teams know that.
But then again, I don't think Ball State's team comp has any problem jumping on this Smolder.
No, they have a lot of mobility. You got the Samira dashes, you got the Viego jumps and resets, you got Karma being
Karma speed boosting someone in.
Karma doing Karma things.
And we've got that Camille just jumping on a wall, closing the entire screen's worth of space right onto them. Like, they've got a lot to get onto this Smolder, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to really play around it all that much because his team can't keep them off, I don't think.
Yeah, not really. That Nami is going to have to be putting in some work. You've got one bubble. You better make some good use out of it.
Good bubbles and good ults. Honestly, Nami might be like what decides the game here. Like, a lot of pressure on this Nami to like play well in lane.
Yeah, that's got to be a little scary. This is kind of what I love about Ball State's drafts, though. Like, it's kind of a silly draft, right? It's very unorthodox, and are using characters that we don't really see, but there is still like a method to this madness.
Yeah.
They're trying to enable the Samira, so they're giving picks that are going to enable this Samira. It's Samira, and nobody plays Samira. Samira has not been amazing. I think she's been a bit better in recent patches, but never like a must pick.
The problem is they came out with better Samira named Nyla. It's like, I genuinely don't know why you would ever play Samira when you could just play Nyla.
Yeah, Nyla scales a bit better too, I believe. And I said 5-man invade. Ball State says, yeah, 5-man invade. Although the ward is going to spot them out. It is going to be swept by Quokka.
They're going to keep going, though.
Yeah, only Silk is backing, and that's just because he's got to go to top lane.
This could be bad. Every member of NKU is ready for this invade. Oh, if Botlick walks into this could be rough. He's going to walk into it.
Oh, no. Botlick. Look out. Botlick, he's got the yellow card. Botlick, run. Botlick will run, and the engage is coming out. There's not a lot that Botlick can do as the rest of Ball State just have to run and hide.
This is bad.
This is very bad. Chumslog in particular is getting gunned down by this Nocturne. First blood goes to Fiora as Quokka goes down, and Yuki will take down Chumslog, and that Nocturne getting an early kill is bad news for Ball State.
Yeah, so typically Viego doesn't really have to worry about Nocturne. If they get in a 1v1, Viego, as long as he hits everything, does win that fight. He doesn't win the fight anymore. The Nocturne's going to have a long sword off of that kill if he decides to back. He's not backing. Okay, so he doesn't have a lead early right now.
Yeah, you have to wait to go back and purchase those items. In the meantime, the rest of Ball State looking to reset here. Unfortunately, bot lane is going to have a lot of trouble establishing that early prio now. They got to lane quite late. Yeah, just going to be playing. Oh, maybe not. Quokka says, nah, I don't care. I'm just going to ignite and jump on you. And that is a ridiculous amount of damage.
That damage is insane.
Wow. Quokka was championing the Camille support. Quokka does not have a support item. Quokka just bought a Doran's Blade. What are you cooking, Ball State? What is happening here?
I can't tell if that's intentional or not.
I'd assume so. So for those who don't know, the support item, after you get a certain amount of gold with it, will start granting wards, which are hugely important. You place down wards to check where the enemy jungler is, to create vision around objectives, and it's usually the support's job to have a ward, but Quokka just bought damage. There's going to be so little vision on the side of Ball State. Maybe Quokka is going to go back and buy the support item late, but your vision will be getting online at a much later point in time than compared to this Nami. I'm very curious to see how that plays out in the bot lane. In the meantime, Silk Flannel is going to be abusing this Cannon's range in the top lane, just trying to make use of that slightly better early game. Ball State is a bit behind in gold thanks to those kills, but it looks like the lanes, for the most part, are playing relatively safely for them.
Dude, I'm just a fan of this game right now. I'm like struggling to know what to talk about because I just want to see how all these matchups go.
I am so curious, actually. The stun is going to come out in the Wombat Baby, but the stun will be locked back into return. Yeah, TF and Karma, I believe Karma does win that matchup, but TF has a lot of tools to answer her. And Quokka is just going for these hooks constantly.
Oh, dude, the damage on that Q.
Yeah, it is.
Chunking half HP of both members on her own.
All right, you know, I'm seeing the Camille support technology, and we have the early engage. The Quokka is going to be coming out as the flash will be committed by that bot lane. We have the Nami getting out. Nocturne looking for the re-engage here. Quokka is very, very low, as is Chumslog. Botlick is really the only person down here with a lot of HP.
Quokka has no mana.
Quokka has no mana, cannot get out. Yuki is going to go for it. Yuki is going to get at least one kill, but the fear will not connect. Chumslog is going to get a kill. Maybe looking for another is so
go for the
low. Our big W goes down. The resets for the Viego are crazy, and that is the double kill. And if you're confused as to why there is a smolder on the red side, that's because Viego transformed. What just happened?
You know, everyone was probably worried about that fight. Like, wow, Ball State's losing. I have so much games in Viego. I'm like, when the Nocturne didn't focus the Viego, I'm like, you can't win this fight. You have to focus him or you lose. And clearly I was right. Like, they get one kill, Viego kills everyone. That's how these fights are all going to play out. If Ball State gets one kill, Viego will kill everybody.
Yeah, so Viego's ultimate, like we said, leaves behind a soul for him to collect, but he can use that to reset, right? So he gets a soul, kills somebody else, then gets their soul, and just uses that to reset and gives him insane mobility. Quokka is a support, should be in the bot lane, will instead be taking a quick detour.
There's a support
to
item.
The top lane. It has bought the support item and is just going to engage onto the Fiora here as Clave is just forced to ghost away. This is such an interesting game coming out from Ball State.
Oh?
Chumslog did have to burn Cleanse there to dodge.
Did he even get hit by anything?
He did not. That was a preemptive cleanse on his part.
Better safe than sorry. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him in the butt later. the cleanse immediately cancels any crowd control you get hit by. So he thought that he got hit by that Nami knockup
What
right
is
there.
happening by the Void Grubs as Ball State is going to be jumping onto Yuki here. Flashes will be committed. Yuki just barely getting out. Quokka is a menace on this Camille support. Still level 4, but is wandering around causing so much havoc.
And I can't tell, did Nocturne get all 3 of the Void Grubs there?
I believe Ball State got 1. But because Quokka is not in the bot lane, Trumpslog is going to be forced to be alone down here and is just unable to cope. The numbers advantage is just not there for him.
But we got Wombat Baby and Quokka roaming down. They think they can clean this up. Quokka may be a support, but he can do half their HP and pretty much one ability.
Wombat Baby and Quokka going to be going for the engage here. Wombat Baby taking quite low, but one takedown on Big W. T1 Quokka is going to be gunning down that Nami. The double kill for the Karma mid. That's very dangerous. Karma super, super strong this patch. And that is a lot of gold into Boatlick's pocket as you take a look at your screen up there. And Wombat Baby as well.
And wow, yeah, Quokka, it's so funny. Quokka is the support, but probably one of the scariest damage dealers on the map right now.
Off-screen cleave will be killed by Silk. That Kennen is putting in some work and is just keeping that lane at least even. But here comes the engage from the Nocturne. The R has been cast. That is Nocturne's ultimate ability as everyone is nearsighted, and Trumpslog will just simply go down. Quokka cannot trade back. Nocturne, that lethal tempo, when it is fully stacked, just gives him so much attack speed, and there's just nothing you can do in response to that. It is 6-6 with a slight gold lead here for the side of NKU, but again, knife's edge game.
And yeah, right now, it's really just the junglers are who to watch. Nothing crazy is happening in any lane. We did see a solo kill out in the top lane. However, I believe Silk is still like pretty far down in CS. Yeah, he is 53 to 67. So he doesn't really, does he have a gold lead? We can see gold right there. No, he is actually behind on gold still, even after getting that kill. So there's not much. Everyone's pretty even all over the map. It's the junglers that are really going to make a difference whenever they gank and take these objectives.
And yeah, speaking of objectives, Ball State starting this Ocean Drake right now. He's going to be getting up those nice healing stats. Wombat Baby off screen on a killing spree. You talked about Wombat Baby getting just these so many kills. Well, he's looking to repeat that as Trumpslog once again. I bet Trumpslog feels kind of lonely down here. Where's my support?
And you know, I was about to point out that Ball State is down on gold and for like the first time all season. But as I was about to say that, they're only down 0.2 gold, or 0.2 thousand, so like 200 gold. Like,
Quokka going to be going for the engage here. The Camille engage will land. The Viego is following up as Mom comes flying out, but Mom will be putting nobody in timeout today as Boatlick just trying to find a kill off screen. Cleave will take down Silk as the jungler from the side of NKU. Yuki going to be going in there. And like you said, Nocturne and Viego, really the ones to watch here. They are making all the plays. Quokka is just trying to enable this Viego to get as far ahead as possible. Same as Wombat Baby. And Yuki is just running around the map, being what Nocturne is, well, just a living nightmare.
Yeah. I am a little worried about this Fiora. Fiora is a champion that, more so than Garen, can just take over a game.
Quokka! What was that? The hook flash ult combo is just going to catch the smolder out. Big W goes down, but the re-engage is coming in. Ice Alarm will take down Trumpslog. That was a huge TP coming out from Twisted Fate. Viego is here. Boatlick looking for an opening.
I don't think he has ultimate, though. He can't really do much.
Nope. The bubble will force them out, and we do see Wombat Baby hanging down here. Quokka goes in for another engage. Wombat Baby is going to hit the damage! And the Q is massive. Wombat Baby has that Malignance, has so much damage. Quokka goes down as Yuki engages with a Nocturne ultimate. Yuki looking to take down this Viego as well, but the Karma shielding is simply too much to shut down. Will go to the Twisted Fate as Ice Alarm picks it up, but Wombat Baby is unstoppable and will pick up a kill in return onto the Nocturne. 5-0 Wombat Baby. If he didn't get a chance to shine last game, baby, is he shining now.
Wombat Baby absolutely stomping right now. He is really, I guess the game's kind of on his back right now. I mean, Ball State's down on gold just by a little, but all the gold that they do have is on Wombat Baby. So he's got to keep making plays like this because This Fiora is getting kind of scary. This Nocturne's getting kind of scary. We need to shut this down.
Waka fears neither god nor man nor mermaid as he looks to engage onto the Nami there. Will not be able to quite secure it, but Ball State is just going to be taking these Void Grubs. And I mean, we talked about aggression, but this is ridiculous. I feel like every time we pan the Quokka or to Boatlick, it's just non-stop fighting.
20 kills in 11 minutes. Like, that's a pretty high ratio. They are securing these Void Grubs here. I believe Ball State has 4 Void Grubs now. So a little tower damage. Pretty decent. They do have the first drag. Hopefully they'll get the second drag. Kind of locking down all the objectives. Nocturne ultimate coming in.
Nocturne ultimate has been cast, but it's just going to not really connect. It looks like Yuki just won't engage here, just using it to get Ball State out of mid lane, at least for a little bit. But Ball State will happily re-engage as this Nami is just caught out. And the stun that comes out.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, Ball State, what might have been a good idea is now looking pretty rough. That yellow card is ready. It will stun if it connects. Ball State looking to turn back again.
Here's Wombat Baby
comes in, and we have the rotate coming in from Viego, but the TP is coming out from NKU. The Destroyer will be TPing in. Ice Alarm is on a killing spree as Team 1 Pocket goes down. The Grand Challenge has been issued on the Wombat Baby. Wombat Baby taken super low. The Samira ult has been cast. Chumslog will take down Step Top. Will only get 1. The shutdown comes through. And I'm Big W will take down Chumslog as well. It is just this Viego getting out. Boatlick forced to retreat, but still, even now, looking for some kind of opening, looking to maybe trade it back. Will not quite be able to find anyone. Not a good fight for Ball State.
Boatlick just kind of, he was a little scared to get jumping on the fight. Oh, is able to dive the tower and take out I'm Big W. Great trade back. They needed that. They needed that play to just be a little better for them because they lost quite a bit right there, especially with Wombat Baby dying and losing that bonus gold. I am being told that we have 5 Void Grubs, so we do have the Void Grub buff that you get.
Yes.
That's pretty nice. But that fight, I feel like Boatlick could have done a little more there, personally. He was kind of scared to go in. He thought that the team didn't have it.
It was an awkward spot from Ball State. I don't think there's necessarily a totally correct decision you can make in that scenario. And it looks like nobody was just on the same page.
I agree.
So a bit of a miscommunication, whereas NKU definitely wanted to take that.
We are seeing first items completed by pretty much everyone in the lobby except for this Camille.
Quokka might not have a completed item, but does have that hook available and is looking to engage. And every time we pan the Quokka, he is jumping onto the enemy team.
Hey, there's a reason he picked this. The whole reason for this pick is to dive and do damage. That is it, and he is making sure to do it as much as he possibly can. As this Nocturne being a little ballsy, you know, clearing this camp right in front of 2 people. He probably knows they're there. Are securing second drag. Ball State has pretty much every objective. They've only dropped 1 Void Grub. That's good for them, but they are still down on gold, still just a little behind, just a little.
It's important to note that no towers for either team have been fully taken yet. So while this gold, these objectives are important, you need to be able to convert them into taking towers, and neither team has really found themselves in a position to do so. There's been so much fighting going on in the meantime. That will be the Infernal Soul coming up when the next dragon spawns, but in the meantime, NKU will simply just take this Rift Herald.
They might try to get first tower off of that. First tower does give you a little extra gold for your team, so that's really nice to take. And I imagine with that Herald, they'll be able to secure first tower. Trying to see the tower health right here. They could take top tower with it right now.
Silk is going to get jumped on. He's going to be forced to pop the cannon ultimate, but it's taken so low. Cleave is really giving Silk a run for his money here. The Nocturne ultimate has been launched. Silk forced to flash out. Will use Kennon's dash to get escape to safety. In the meantime, Boatlick is here for the re-engage. All this could prove disastrous for NKU.
Dive the Nocturne.
And the Nocturne will get dove. Boatlick is looking for a kill. They can't quite find it. The shutdown for Boatlick. The double kill for Boatlick. Boatlick looking to go back onto NKU. Right now, the Nami wave comes out. Ice Alarm is on top of him. Boatlick is taken quite low, but will secure that triple kill. Silk is in the back line, just so low. Wombat Baby trying to get that stun onto Stuffed Up, but will not quite be able to. But that is exactly what Ball State wants. They just slow NKU right in their tracks and maybe even take first tower. The Void Grubs are going to make short work of that top lane tower.
3 more kills for this Viego. He is so fed. He's so far.
Okay, Quokka.
Quokka just casually soloing the ADC as the support, you know, no big deal. Interesting. We haven't really talked about the, I can't even think of the names. Smolder. We haven't talked about the Smolder build this much this game. He's gone Trinity for his first item.
So you do want to be going items that build out of Sheen as Smolder, and Trinity Force, of course, being one of those items. But
like, if any game is an Iceborne Gauntlet game, don't you think this would be it?
I feel like this kind of would be the Iceborne Gauntlet game. Oh, Quokka going to be jumping onto Twisted Fate here. Oh, it is just looking like maybe bad news for Isolarm. Isolarm is going to be able to disengage, but the rest of Ball State is here. The Nocturne ult has been popped. Viego does not care. Bolik is unstoppable. Yeah, come ult me Nocturne. Yuki actually went up top to take down Silk as NKU will be taking this turret down, so that top lane turret will go down for Ball State, and Yuki just playing completely around topside right now. That's the only lane that is so far ahead.
So if I'm Ball State right now, my mind is my Viego's fed. My Viego can probably carry this game along with Karma throwing shields on him. The only person that can stop me is this Fiora. Fiora is a problem. She's doing really well. She's pretty ahead. She's got a split push going on. They need to shut down Fiora. That is really the only obstacle in their way right now, in my opinion.
Off screen, the Smolder will once again just go down.
Oh, and Viego gonna come. He's half health, but he might still win this fight. Let's, with the items, no, I think Nocturne wins this fight. He's got to run away.
Yeah, Boatleg just going to disengage here, but the rest of Ball State is showing up. Jump Slug is taking so low. The Kennen ult is going to get popped. This is the time to shut down this Fiora right now. Ball State, can they do it? Yes, they can.
It's the soul.
Wombat Baby will take down Cleave as the Viego is going to be running down the rest of NKU. Yuki just trying to get out, but this Viego is god-like, and the Nami will just barely escape with their life. That Ball State will happily take those plays any day of the week. Dragon is spawning in about a minute, and Ball State is getting so much cryo in this mid lane. Ball State has finally pulled ahead in gold, if only just. Oh, I thought that was about to be the crazy play of the century right there.
I don't think we need to worry anymore. I think Wombat and Boatleg are just so far ahead right now. They are just a two-man army right now. Not to say that the other members can't help them. The other members are doing perfectly fine. They can help them a lot, especially this Camille with her long-range engages. But it's going to be rough for NKU to come back from this. This Viego and Karma are just a little too strong, especially when paired together.
Yeah, I mean, Ice Alive here might soon become Ice Dead. And yeah, Ice is just going to be completely eliminated. Oh, Ice Alarm, excuse me. Wow, my joke doesn't even land. But in the meantime, Cleave will take down Jump Slug and the re-engage from Yuki. This Nocturne and Fiora are really the only saving graces that NKU has. But it looks like they're going to be trying to go for a shutdown here. But Wombat Baby will take down. Stepped up. Mom comes out. Boatleg is just barely surviving. Will eventually get taken down, but Yuki will go down as well. Ball State kind of in an awkward spot here, but they're still looking to try and make this work. Silk's ultimate will be popped as Wombat Baby looking to re-engage, but Silk is just taken so low, and Cleave is turning
Wombat,
into an unstoppable monster. Wombat, you need to get out of there right now, brother. I don't know if it can. Lands the root. He's using the Karma Shield speed boost to just get out. Is that an arc?
Forget running. He's winning this.
Oh, wait, that Monster Q just turned this entire fight around. Wombat Baby is ultimately gonna disengage, not wanting to risk it. This is a 40-plus kill game.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the comps. We called this early. I feel like we're just watching a solo queue game right now.
In the best way possible.
Yeah.
This is absolutely wild. It's just so back and forth. Look at the gold, a slight, and I mean slight, lead by NKU here, but it is anyone's game.
And Boatleg opting for just pretty much, it's not the most damage build you can go, but he's pretty much just going full damage on Viego right here, which is kind of not standard, but I think it's the correct choice here. He's just needs to melt people as fast as he possibly can.
The Nocturne ult has been popped. We do have Cleave rooted in the back as Yuki goes to engage. Iceland will get taken down as the Mom comes out from NKU. Yuki will take down Boatleg there, and Yuki is getting a double kill. I don't know if Ball State has the health to fight this, but they don't have the health.
Wombat Baby's
they might
got this.
have the damage. The shutdown coming through for Jump Slug. I'm Big W will take down Chump Slug in response, but Wombat Baby is looking to just run down I'm Big W. The Monster Q misses, but that one will connect.
She is a support. Why is this damage happening?
Every time you slightly buff Karma's AP ratios, she just becomes an unstoppable monster.
This is why she's getting nerfed next patch.
I would imagine so, and this is why she's been banned a lot in the ESC. Ball State tries to start the Dragon. They just don't have the health to deal with it, unfortunately, so they are going to have to reset here.
And I believe they're kind of worried. I don't know if Twisted Fate has ult up or not, but they probably were worried about that Twisted Fate ulting in, causing some problems. What is the Twisted Fate's build this game? Can we see the builds?
As you see, the gold has swung a bit back in Ball State's favor, and once the graph goes down, it is 80 TF.
80. Okay, that's wait, but he didn't go Kraken Slayer early.
Oh, he went static shit.
He's building it right now. I'm pretty sure that's his next item, but I feel like Kraken Slayer is like literally what makes that champion good right now.
I am questioning the build path just a bit, especially Static Shiv. I don't think is an amazing item right now. But, you know, who am I to judge? As the Nocturne comes in for the engage, Ball State taking quite low. Mom's going to come in as well, looking to execute. Chump Slug in the back.
Wait, you can turn this Ball State.
Shutdown coming out for the side of NKU, but Shutdown coming out for the side of Ball State as well. The numbers are quite even. Viego gets that soul reset. The Nami ult has been committed and did not find anybody. In the meantime, we have Viego looking for some kind of engage, but NKU is simply not there. It's just going to reset and use the miss to engage.
Oh, jump on the TF right there. You can.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Viego's coming in, and this might be another kill for Boatlick. The shutdown coming through. In the meantime, the rest of Ball State low on HP, but not lacking in damage. Boatlick coming in for the engage, but here comes Cleave with the ghost. Silk goes down, and Chump Slug is trying to trade a kill. Doesn't quite land it. Wombat Baby trying to kill this Fiora as well. TF
Gold card
is going to be rooted here. Wombat Baby on a rampage as Viego gets that soul for the Nami. Unfortunately, the Fiora will not be able to be shut down, but Ball State just got a lot out of that fight.
I'm glad that you are the color caster this game, or the play-by-play caster, because I'm literally just staring at Viego being like, pressure W, pressure E, pressure Q. So, I'm just like mentally backseating, and he's doing everything I'm thinking. Great plays.
Engage coming in from Yuki, but the Camille ult will stop that Nocturne in his tracks. Cleave is on a killing spree, but that is 1000% worth for Ball State. They're now sitting on the soul point, while NKU, has yet to take a single dragon. Well played by Quokka. That was actually a crazy good move.
Yeah, great plays by absolutely everybody there. Those fights are what they needed. Ball State actually doesn't have a lead. They have a 100 gold lead. That's just a couple minions. This game is exactly even right now.
NKU is just starting the Baron right now.
I don't know if Ball State can stop them.
I don't know if Ball State can either, but they kind of have to try. Getting Baron at this point would be really disastrous for them. We have Wombat Baby lurking around, and the Viego comes in, and they're in!
It's stolen!
I can't believe it! The shutdown does come out for NKU, but who cares?
Run, Ball State, just get out! Just
Stole
get out!
the Baron, and they are running, they are getting out, and Mom comes in, but she's not getting anybody. Ball State takes the Baron with only one casualty.
2 Baron steals in 2 games. Absolutely ridiculous. This time, I do think that Baron steal that's what's going to put the nail in the coffin. I think Ball State, they needed that. They needed that bad.
That was incredible. I don't even know how much vision they had of the Baron at that point. Oh, wow.
Oh,
okay,
no.
okay. You can't throw your Baron buff away. Quokka will go down. Ball State's got to play real carefully. That's a nice block coming out from the Samira.
I do think Quokka's early roams and the lack of an early support item is kind of coming back to hurt him now. He has such little gold compared to the rest of the lobby. He is only sitting at 1 item while other supports are sitting at 2. Actually, he's not the lowest gold character in the game.
Oh, yeah. Beating out that Nami.
I guess he's not buying support items, though, so his items are more expensive. That's why it looks like he's doing not quite as well.
Yeah, but you're not really building at this point in the game, right? That Camille was always going to be an early game pick.
Yeah, that's true.
Now Quokka's job is to kind of just get a good engage, then immediately die.
Yep. Maybe get a bit of a nuke on that Q ability, because that thing's damage is not okay.
Yeah, I have been on the receiving end of the Camille Q many a time, and it has never felt good. We might
Viego.
Receiving end of the
No,
Viego
run away.
ult,
Yeah, you gotta get out.
Get that Nami ult return. Mom comes out, Nocturne ult has the pop. That is a massive shutdown here for the Viego as Ball State it was looking like a bit sketchy, but this fight is exactly what they need. The double kill for the Viego. Those resets are not to be sneezed at, and Ball State will happily take those kills. That gives them a lot of room to work with on the map while the rest of NKU looks to respawn.
The last thing Cleve needed to do there was give Viego the Fiora soul. I think that fight is winnable for NKU as long as they don't get that soul, but they are able to trade back, take down Quokka once again. I don't think Quokka's worth very much gold at this point, though.
Quokka is a caster minion, and that's okay. That was all part of the plan.
This is a game.
That is certainly one way to put it.
This is a game.
It is 31 to 34 in terms of kills. 31 for NKU, 34 for Ball State. That's a ridiculous number of kills in any game, let alone an organized one such as this. It has been non-stop brawling, non-stop action, and Ball State slowly but surely is coming out on top.
And Wombat Baby and Boatlick still just topping the charts when it comes to gold and XP. They are just so far ahead. The only issue is I think they're really the only strong members of Ball State right now.
Oh, the engage coming in from Nocturne, and they're looking to just jump onto Silk right now. Silk just does not have the HP to deal with this. Will be immediately taken down, but the re-engage coming out from Ball State does not be
Jumpslog ultimate!
Jumpslog hits the Samira ultimate, barely lives and gets a kill on the Yuki. In the meantime, Boatlick will shut down Ice Alarm, and this Nami is just running away, but the ultimate from the Camille will connect. Wombat Baby is unstoppable, but off to the side lane, that Fiora will be taking down a turret in response.
This split pushing Fiora is going to be a problem. They are at all times of this game are going to have to worry about this Fiora just ending the game on her own, going to one of these side lanes and
just
quickly
got 2
finishing.
turrets off that.
2 turrets off of a quick side push. She hopefully goes down for that.
She should. The engage does land from Ball State, but Cleve is going to be able to get out. The flash is going to be committed from Quokka. Cleve still might be able to get out.
Oh my gosh.
There's no way. Cleve used the Ghost Summoner spell and is using, what are they just called flares? I don't actually know what the...
I think they're like petals. I think they're like flower petals or something.
I know it's for the Infernal Dragon.
I don't actually know.
Infernal Shards?
They give you speed boost when you step on
yes,
them, though.
That is the point.
The little red things that are just scattered around the map right now.
They're a new addition in Season 14. That's why I don't know their name off the top of my head. Ball State has been revealed by the Twisted Fate ultimate. Twisted Fate can now teleport onto them as well. And they just have to give so much room to NKU here, but they still want to take this dragon. This will be Soul Point, and Infernal Soul for Ball State will boost their attack power significantly.
And I don't know if they have any...
What was that damage?
That damage is insane. They can now go in on the fight. The enemies are low enough for Viego to do something here. I'd be looking for an ult over the wall, personally.
Mom comes out, but it's blocked by Jumpslug, and this is what Ball State needs to engage here. Silk coming in as the rest of Ball State is going to be engaging on NKU.
Gets the soul?
Oh, wow. That is a double kill here coming out for Wombat Baby. That dragon is so low. Ball State will take the dragon. That is the Infernal Soul. And although that Smolder does have access to that Shrew damage passive now, Ball State simply just has access to the Infernal Soul. Silk will go down as Ice Alarm takes him out. But that is very, very good from the side of Ball State. They will happily take that. And I'm being told by the back room, they're not flares, they're not flower petals, they are Infernal Cinders, dear viewers.
Cinders, okay. And you can see them there on, well, they were on the screen. Let's see if there's any popping up. Oh, there's one down to the bottom right. You can see it on the ground right there.
Oh, and you can also see Boatlick just absolutely game-playing this Fiora right now.
No.
Oh, just kidding. I spoke too soon. Boatlick will get turned on, and the shutdown comes through. Caster's Curse. My sincerest apologies, Mr. Boatlick.
Fiora, okay, as a Viego, I don't know, maybe Boatlick doesn't know this. You cannot fight Fiora. I don't care how many items you have over her. I don't care if you have a 6-level lead on her. You cannot fight Fiora. It's just not possible. Don't go in on her alone. At least have Wombat Baby there shielding you. That's your only chance.
I'm also being told by the back room, I might have to put this on hold when this engage happens, but Infernal Cinders not only give movement speed, but ability haste as well, so they will reduce her cooldown slightly. But moving on to the engage at the Baron, as you can see, NKU trying to take this Baron. After all, Ball State jungler is down. The rest of Ball State just has to contest. This is going to be kind of risky. They don't have the numbers, and then Nocturne ult has been popped, but the TP is being committed. Silk will join the fray.
Nocturne going in.
Nocturne will engage that. I don't know what the plan was there. Mom is going to come in, but it's way too late. And that Nocturne ult really just did not do anything for NKU there. That was just a mistake.
Now, it is worth noting, the Smolder on the side of NKU does have the 225 stacks,
Yeah,
so
so
he
that-
does have his execute up now.
That's going to have to be what Ball State plays around. They need to deal with this Fiora, this Nocturne, and now this Smolder. But they do get the fair, and Yuki kind of threw that fight away by engaging way too early.
And Yuki was only like a quarter HP when he dove in. It was, I don't know, he's just like wanting to deliver some gold to Ball State. I don't really know what the goal was there.
I think there was a bit of a miscommunication because you did see the Smolder's mom kind of raining down fire afterwards. I think the idea was, I engage you, mom, after me. There was some cross wires, unfortunately.
The Viego getting the Guardian Angel, I don't think we've actually talked about that item much. So that item has a very long cooldown.
5 minutes.
But if you die with that item, you just get revived. After a couple seconds, you'll just revive in the place, and it's like you never died. So you can get 2 lives in a fight, essentially. And that on Viego is nasty right now.
So quickly before a fight breaks out, because I'm sensing one happening soon. Elder Dragon is 3 minutes out. Quokka going to be jumping onto Ice Alarm here. All right, Elder Dragon is breaking out soon. So y'all remember Smolder's True Damage passive where it executes people? When Elder Dragon is slain, everybody on the team that kills it gets that execute passive. So Elder Dragon is up in 2 minutes, 3 minutes rather, closer to 3 minutes, but with respawn timers now being so long, 40, 50 seconds per player, 1 kill here could mean all the difference between securing that Elder Dragon or not. Both these teams are going to have to play very carefully.
Having Elder Dragon, basically, you can act like a quarter of the enemy team's health just doesn't exist. Like, it's pretty much a free win if you get Elder Dragon, especially in a competitive environment like this.
Both these teams know it.
Quokka.
Quokka going to be caught out. That was a huge shield on Camille, my goodness.
Yeah.
He's just going to be able to get out pretty easily.
Oh, it was a Steric shield. Okay. I was like, how did they
it was Karma shielding as well.
So both of
what? That's so unlucky. I'm so sorry, Yuki. Off-screen, Cleave will die. Wombat Baby managed to get the recall off as Yuki was mid-air.
So he finished, Wombat Baby finished his back as Yuki was dashing in. No, this is not a 1v1. Oh,
Boatlick getting way too confident and will simply go down.
Wombat Baby!
Wombat Baby with the TP!
Gets the soul!
Gets a double kill, and the soul is grabbed by the Viego! What is happening? That should not have worked. Why is this working? What is happening? No, you can't be doing this. Ball State, calm down. Double kill for the Viego. What did I just witness? Someone talk to me. What?
That is absolutely absurd. Wombat Baby just showing why he is our mid laner right now. Pretty much almost one-shots 4 members of NKU right there. I thought Boatlick had just thrown the game, but Wombat Baby saying, never mind, I've got you.
I'm actually speechless. I feel like Boatlick should have died 3. Does Ball State win off this?
It's also worth noting, oh, wait, are they going to end? Cleave's going to go down here for sure, right?
Ball State's ending.
They're ending.
Ball State's ending.
It's over.
What just happened?
What? Boatlick with what looked like the most troll play he possibly could have done, turning into them winning the game 10 seconds later. What?
I need a minute.
And that is it. The Ball State 2-0 wasn't a stomp. They were struggling in both games, but they were able to take the lead in both and finish it out. We weren't ready for the game to end.
No, I saw Boatlick step out into the entire enemy team, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? Wombat Baby TP's in, just kills everybody. Boatlick, by the skin of his teeth, gets the soul reset. And then that's the game.
That's the game. Boatlick was able to stall out the fight with his Steric's Gauge shield, which what that does is whenever you get low health, it just gives you a big shield for a little bit. So he had that to just take a few more seconds from the enemy team to take him down. Then he had that Guardian Angel, which put him on the ground for like, I think it's like 4 seconds, something like that. Just while he revives, wasting even more time for Wombat Baby to get in and just obliterate everyone.
I'm processing. I need a minute. Look at
Is this what are we looking at?
this is damage, yes.
Damage. 44,000 damage on a champion that is supposed to be a support. Karma's getting nerfed next patch. I cannot wait. That is ridiculous. Not to take away from the fact that that Wombat Baby is just stomping so many games.
Wow, bot lane was the highlight reel for the first game for sure, but jungle and mid lane, and I'm gonna give a big shout out to Quokka in that early game especially, really popped off here. The roams were there, getting Boatlick fed, just getting this Viego ahead, then this Karma ahead, and by the time Quokka's job was done and he could do no more but engage and die, that was all that Ball State needed.
I need to see again. How many kills are in that game? Where can I see that? Is that on my screen? I don't know what these numbers up top are. Is that 46 kills?
That's 46 kills for Ball State.
To 36?
To 36. That is
82 kills in a game?
Wow.
That's absurd.
We talked about how this was going to be aggressive, but this was Ball State not just showing that they're a strong team. I really feel like I just watched them push the physical limits of what you can do with these characters. I saw Quokka go for the most ridiculous Camille engages. That entire last fight of nonsense, and I mean nonsense in a very loving way, but why was Boatlick allowed to live that?
I really wonder if he knew that would happen, which we might be able to ask him. We've got an interview right here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey.
Here, you already turned that on? Okay,
It's on? Yep. All right.
Well, we're still recovering from that game ending just suddenly.
So, was that part of the plan when you stepped out as Viego? Were you kind of planning on the TP coming in?
It was kind of lucky.
Get the mic a little closer.
It was kind of lucky because honestly, I just wanted to limit test there.
Yeah.
Because I was full build, but Gabe clutched with the RQ on Karma.
Yeah, what was that damage?
He RQ'd 3 times there.
Oh, 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's balanced.
I was like, wow, Ball State maybe just threw, and then suddenly their health is just gone, and you win the fight.
Yeah. After the first game, I kind of had too much fun first game, getting this Baron stolen and stuff.
I mean, it looked like you had a lot of fun that game. I'm a Viego main, so I was super.
Okay.
I was popping off whenever you locked in Viego, and. Yeah, wow. I don't even know what to ask. That was just a super fun game.
Yeah, I had to lock in after the first game.
It was incredible. I guess really I've screamed myself hoarse up here watching that game. This was probably the most fun I've had watching the Cardinals all season so far. You guys did an incredible job. So I'm just gonna have a really short question. This was supposed to be one of your more competitive matches so far in the ESC. Based on how it went, I feel like you guys knocked it out of the park.
Right.
So I ask this every broadcast, and I'm going to continue to ask it, but I'll ask it once again. Do you guys think Cardinals go all the way to the top in the ESC this time?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, I'll take that here.
Alrighty.
And that. Yeah, you too. Go Viego, let's go. Well, you heard it from the man himself, Boatlick. Cardinals want to go all the way to the top in the ESC, and this was supposed to be a more competitive game. Not the top of the top, not the cream of the crop, so to speak, but definitely supposed to be more of a threat to Ball State, and we saw that play out. Ball State struggled a bit, but they adapted, and then you heard Boatlick, they're limit testing, having fun with it. They are so confident, and they have the skills to back that bravado up.
I mean, if you're limit testing in a competitive game, like this isn't practice, this isn't scripts. Clearly, you've got some confidence. You're like, I just want to test it out and maybe make. He's training in a. He's essentially training in a league game. Like, that's pretty crazy.
Well, for those of you who have watched, been with Cardinal Esports for a while, you might remember Austin. Way back in the day, he said, there are 3 guarantees in life: death, taxes, and birds on top. And after tonight, I absolutely agree with him.
Yep.
But
there was a lot of death in that game.
There was, certainly. that's all from me. We will be competing in League of Legends once again this Wednesday, I believe.
Yep.
Should be around the same time. Be sure to check out our Twitter for updates on when exactly we'll be going live.
I think it'll be an hour later. It'll probably be 8 o'clock instead of 7
an
o'clock
hour later. We'll also be competing in Overwatch tomorrow.
Should be.
Tomorrow and Thursday is what
Yeah.
I'm being told. So if you're a fan of Overwatch 2, be sure to check those streams out as well. Once again, just follow the Ball State Esports Twitter account, or X, I guess, if you're uncool, for for some more updates. But once again, that is all from me. Huge congratulations to Ball State for not only winning, but winning with style. I've been Rory.
I've been Aiden.
And you all have a good night.
Have a good night.